Alright, we're live. How we doing, everyone? How we doing on this Sunday afternoon for us Europeans? Doing okay. I hope. Oh, turn down the music. It's a bit loud. At least for me. I don't know. All right, we're reviewing Portland today. Day one happened yesterday. Of course, for those of us in Europe, that was obviously quite late at night. I think day one finished around 3 or 4 a.m. for me. So no way I was streaming that live. But yeah, we're gonna take a look at day one. Shouldn't take too long, I don't think. Going through it at 1.5 times speed and going over place and whatnot. So I'm just gonna jump into it. This will of course also be a YouTube VOD for those interested. So I'm not really too concerned about waiting for people to jump in. This will all be available to people later. Not that far from here, not that long from here, I should say, because I'm actually getting my act together and uploading old VODs on YouTube. I missed that for a couple of weeks when I started streaming again in December. So yeah, we're gonna jump into it. We're just gonna get started here. We're gonna be seeing Sawyer Melbourne, teammate of mine, of course, against Richard Nugeen. I can't pronounce that last name to save my life. It's pretty common though. I mean, all things considered. But yeah, this is Lost Teen against Roaring Moon. I remember watching this one live because it was an earlier game. And I remember thinking Sawyer actually made a couple of key misplays. So let's see if we can go over some of those right here today. So I'm just going to mute the casters real quick. But they're going to set up here. Sawyer's going to wobble around his chair because that's what Sawyer does. I do the same. I won't blame him. And yeah, so Sawyer's going first. I don't know who won the coin flip, and I don't know if either player was going in blind. But obviously Richard always wants to go second, right? He's playing Roaring Moon, you always go second. Going second is super important with that deck. So I'm assuming that if Richard won the coin flip, he chose second, right? If Sawyer won the coin flip, I have no idea because we don't know what information Sawyer has. But regardless, Sawyer is going first. He's going to VIP for double comfy, starting Tina. I think him starting Tina is pretty notable, all things considered. But he's going to consider grabbing this Ditto instead, and that is what he's going to do. Interesting. I don't hate the Ditto in this deck. It's an added turn 1 consistency card, which I think is something Tina really enjoys. So yeah, actually, I just remembered I need to do something real quick. I need to add a chat box to my browser overlay because it is a lot better for the VOD later when people can't see chat, right? So I am going to. Where are we putting the chat box, guys? Where are we putting it? I guess we'll put it. I guess under the webcam is fine, right? Yeah. All right, cool. Let's just get back into this, huh? Okay, yeah. So Sawyer's gonna grab this this Ditto here. It seems he continues to price check. I think we can skip past that. He's just gonna shuffle up. And why is the Ditto? Oh, Richard's reading the Ditto. Okay, cool. Wondering where that went. Jet to Comfy. What's the selecting here? Can't see it. He's gonna get rid of a Colress, and I believe that was a Mirage Gate he grabbed. Okay. So he's gonna switch into the Ditto. He's gonna activate the ability, grab Comfy, and I think he's eyeing up some more stuff. He has a second VIP pass. So this is interesting because that VIP pass I'm fairly certain was in the hand before anything else, which means he held the VIP pass before using flower selecting. So I'm assuming the idea behind that play is that Sawyer wants 5 Pokemon in play. He has guaranteed 4, so he hits one of those Pokemon off the Comfy. He can then VIP for the remaining 2. So that seems like proper sequencing to me on Sawyer's end. One thing I do disagree with, and I really want to point out, is the fact that Sawyer is grabbing 2 Giratina right now. Now, I don't think Sawyer has a lot of matchup experience into Roaring Moon, right? I don't think a lot of people do, because the deck really isn't that good right now. I'm being blunt, right? But Sawyer grabbing double Tina here is a misplay. It's definitely a misplay. The reason for this is because if Richard gets to go 2-2-2 in this game, he's gonna win 100%. He's just gonna win, right? But on the flip side, Richard has very few natural responses to Sawyer just going 1-1-1, or just spamming 1 prizes, right? Like if he spams Cramorant, he spams Sableye, etc. he should be winning naturally, right? Cramorant especially is like surprisingly hard for this deck to deal with because they need to discard a stadium every time. So yeah, I disagree with the second Tina grab. I think this should be a Cram or Sableye. Probably Cram at this point in the game, of course. But regardless, this is what Tina's gonna, what Sawyer's gonna do. He's gonna shuffle up after the VIP. I'm assuming he's gonna then use Flower Selecting. That's V-Star Psychic Energy, I believe, and he has a V-Star in hand. I think. He's gonna get rid of the Psychic. He's gonna play the Path. Is that a third Tina V in hand? No, it must be a V-Star. If it was a third Tina V, he wouldn't have grabbed two Tina Vs. That would have been a very, very big blunder in his end. But regardless, Richard is going to start his turn, and he's going to do Roaring Moon stuff. He's going to start with a prize check, I believe. We, of course, already know the prize cards. There weren't anything special on either side. Sawyer prized a lot of energies, but I think that's about it. It's going to be VIP for Squawk and Roaring Moon here. So not bad, but of course you want to be able to bump this path. It's kind of the big problem for Richard here, but he's going to choose into Shoes and then Shoes into... We can't see it. I do appreciate the zoom in though. It's going to be an Earthen Vessel. Okay, that's pretty good, because then you get to discard the Dark. And then I'm assuming you find Double Dark, or you could do Dark Water, but I think Double Dark's better here. Because you are looking to attack with this Roaring Moon. So... yeah. Let's see what we got here. Roaring Moon bench, second Moon, so Yosef had that in hand. And then I think it might just have to be a Sada for one here. I believe his hand is like triple Dark Energy, I believe Dark Patch Sada, which really isn't great. It's actually not that good. Yeah. I mean, Richard kind of doesn't have any other plays besides this. But he's going to get Sada, Ultra Ball, Energy Switch. That will guarantee it to him because he just needs to get rid of a Dark Energy and then Dark Patch it back, then attach Command. So Richard is going to be able to play the game here. It's not amazing, right? But it's something. But the Squawk ability is wasted. That's very, very important. Actually, let's talk about this. Was grabbing Squawk ability off of VIP pass correct? Right? I actually have no idea, if I'm being honest. It kind of depends on how many stadium bumps Richard plays, because Richard obviously needs to thin his deck, right? Because he had the Tracking Shoes as his only really out path there, right? But he wants Richard wants his stadium bumps to be among his outs, right? So I think the question kind of becomes less of is grabbing Squawk correct, and more so like what are you grabbing instead of Squawk? And if he already had one Roaring Moon and he gets VIP for second Roaring Moon, then grabbing Squawk is probably correct. Like, yes, he could grab Greninja, but Squawk is always better than Greninja in this situation because it achieves the same thing and just for more, right? So this is correct, right? Even though he will have grabbed Squawk off VIP and then not use Squawk, right? Richard is not squawking this turn; he can't. So it is wasted, but I still think it was correct on his end to grab it because you have to maximize your outs. And having, like, if he plays Vacuum, being an out is nice. If he plays Pokestop, of course he plays Pokestop, but like having his stadium bumps be out is super important for him. So I do think this is correct, but he's going to debate on what to grab off of this Ultra Ball. One thing I do want to mention, he's going to grab the Moltres, which is correct, in my opinion. But what I want to mention is that I think benching both Radiant Greninja and Morpeko in this matchup, and against any Lost Blocks matchup as Roaring Moon, is a big misplay. But yeah, we're going to have the Energy Switch, Dark attached to the Morpeko. That's probably correct. You obviously would rather attack with the Morpeko than anything else, right? Because it's one prizer. Yes, it dies to Cram, but it's better than getting smacked by a Tina if you attack with the Roaring Moon. So this is good, and you also just get to put the energies back on the Roaring Moon, which is completely fine. But the reason you're not benching Greninja here when you start the Morpeko, in my opinion, is because you don't want Sawyer to have lines where he can kill two one prizers, right? You just don't want that happening, especially with Sableye, right? Sableye being, of course, a big threat. Sableye does a lot of damage in this matchup. Like, it does a lot of damage to Richard's board. If Richard ever has to use Frenzy Gouging on a V-Star, or God forbid on anything else, right? It is possible that it does come to that, right? Then Sableye gains a lot of value because it can clean up knockouts on Roaring Moons while also putting damage on other stuff, including Morpeko, right? But if it's just a Morpeko, it's the only one prize, so then knocking out Morpeko never has any value. So you just grab, if you start Greninja, you just grab Mew as your free retreater. If you start Morpeko, which is, it's kind of mediocre in this matchup, but it's going to have some good value here. But it's not ideal in this matchup because it is just a free knockout for the Sableye later down the line, right? But I don't want to see Greninja hitting Richard's board anytime soon. So yeah, we are going to see the Morpeko attack. I believe it's Dark Patch, Dark Energy in his hand. Or no, I think he has a Sada as well, actually. Hence why he's not playing the Dark Patch. So that's smart. What do you got off the prize cards here? Let's just make sure I know that. It's a cross switcher. Okay. So that's worth keeping in mind. But Sawyer's going to top deck. And we're going to see a Chorus, right? Which makes sense because he lost on Chorus last turn. Not great. I believe that's double switch card, Mirage Gate, Nest Ball Psychic, I believe. So not great on Sawyer's end here. I'm not entirely sure what's in his hands, but he is going to get rid of Nest Ball Mirage Gate. So I'll use him with... Or was it Double Gate? I think it was Double Gate, not Double Switch Card. But yeah, he's going to... Comfy, get rid of the IP. Pretty easy choice. I believe he even like got rid of it before even like looking at the other card. But there's going to be a Switch card here. He doesn't have a lot, I think. Sableye and... Was that a... That was a Path. He has to grab Sable. Sable's too important here. I'm fairly certain I'm seeing a Tina V in Sawyer's hand, so I think Sawyer definitely misplayed last turn. One of these Tina Vs should just be a Cramorant, 100%, but that is whatever. So let's see what Sawyer does here. What I'd really want to see, I think, would be ideal on Sawyer's end is if you could just like cram Escape Rope this turn. That'd be awesome. That'd be super cool, right? You don't need to do anything else. You don't need to like get greedy. You can just cram something. Cramming the Morpeko is kind of wasted, right? Because then Richard, if he plays smart, will just never bench the Greninja. Or any other one prize. I can't imagine he plays any others, but I'm just assuming just the Greninja, right? But let's see what Sawyer has. I do not believe I see... I don't believe I see Escape Rope in his hand, but I would like to see that Nest Ball be played, if I'm being honest. I do think, yeah, we're going to see the Nest Ball. For Greninja, I hope not. That's weird. I want to check if we prized Cram on Sawyer's end here. Let's see here. We did not. Okay, so I just straight up think this is a misplay on Sawyer's end. If I'm being honest, I do not agree with that play. But let's go back to where we were here, which was, yeah, he played that Nest Ball. We're skipping a little bit too far ahead. Yeah, he's about to play the Nest Ball. Nest Balls for Sableye. Okay, and then we're selecting, what is it, Jet and... I didn't see that last card. Can't be anything good, I imagine. It's a Boss's Order, okay. He does need that. But we have Gate, I think that's Double Gate, Boss, V-Star. So you should be evolving here, but he's not. He's not going to evolve. I don't know why we're not evolving. There might be something I'm just missing. That's very plausible, but I can't see a reason why we're not evolving our Tina V-Star here. But Richard's going to drop turn. He's just going to immediately play that Sada, which is smart. And he's going to hit the Cross Switcher, Pokestop, Ultra Ball. That's super, super, super good for Richard. He's going to basically be able to get Mew here for a draw. He has double Cross Switcher because he hit Cross Switcher off the prize cards. Let's see what we got here. Just a switch card. It's not great, but you kind of don't need boss that badly. But what I really, really like here is you have the Ultra Ball for the Mew. So as long as there's just like not Path in play, which I believe Sawyer is now down 2 Path because there's one lost zone. You basically you get the Mew, right, and you can just tank up your hand with Mew. So we're gonna see Ultra Ball away, Ultra Ball switch card. That's probably correct. And I'm expecting the Mew grab. Yep, there we go. Good stuff. And what now? Dark Patch, I think is fine at this point in the game. You're not really trying to conserve stuff. Now you just have, yep, perfect. You have double switchers. You You get to knock out this Tina, you go up 2 prize cards. You go up 3 prize cards, actually, and you get this +3 on the hand, and you kind of get some semi-Roxanne proof off of the Mew. Of course, if Sora does combo it with Path, right, it's not that great, but the most important part for Richard here is that he gets to establish a second attacker, right? You kind of have to expect that your active Roymoon is going to get knocked out, but you have to have that response, right? So, 4-card hand, 5-card hand, sorry, for Richard. No, 4. It's 4 because he attached the water. Sora's going to make sure he's actually doing what he thinks he's doing, but yeah, he's going to play the gate, attach this Tina. He does have Water, Grass, Index. I believe we're going to see second gate. Yep. Probably Water to either one, honestly. It doesn't make a difference, but yeah, one to the one to the active. He does have the Tina V-Star in hand, so that's not an issue. So Sawyer is in the state where Roxanne is the win condition. And the most important part here is that after Lost impacting this Moon, he should be able to then Sableye go to 10, right? So one thing I again want to point out is that we're seeing the second Tina bench again. Well, I do think at this point in the game you have to, because Richard will go down to 1 prize card, right? After knocking out the active Tina. You're kind of in this weird limbo where you're playing into this 2-2-2 that Richard wants to play so easily, right? Where, I mean, this second Tina shouldn't even be a second Tina. You obviously started Tina, right? But if this second Tina was like a cram, obviously maybe in this situation it'd be kind of rough, but you know, at the bare minimum, right? You're able to Roxanne. There's no stadium in play, and just spit at this thing, right? Or even spit at the bench. Spit at the bench would be fine if you have like either catcher or rope or whatever. As long as it's not the Morpeko, of course, because that would lead to a 7-prize game. I think if Sawyer just gets to play 1-prize Pokemon from the very beginning of the game, right, it's fine. Maybe because he starts Tina, he has to commit to the Tina lines, right, and you know, kind of rely on Roxanne to bail him out here. But regardless, it's not a situation you want to be in as Sawyer. I think it's somewhat avoidable, but Sawyer is going to have Chorus in hand now, and he's going to go to 8 in the Lost Zone, which means after this Tina, he will be fine. He is going to make the call to put down the Path, which is definitely correct, because the attack is already guaranteed, so that's not really the concern, right? But yeah, this Roymoon's going to go down. Sawyer is going to whiff energy off the prize cards, which is quite rough. Because he definitely needed the energy there. Any energy would be good, but especially the grass energy out of the prize cards. But I believe he does have his 1 discard, he has 1 in prizes, he has 1 in Lost Zone. So I believe there's 1 left in deck. So it's not the end of the world. But we are going to see what happened here. Oh, I did not mean to restart that. Hold up. Here we go. That's the end of Richard's turn. That's the AO. Okay. So, this is the... here we go. That's response this turn. Cannot figure out where I was. Oh, here we go. Okay, yeah. So this is Sawyer about to attack. Sawyer attacks. Okay. So, what did Richard do here? Richard, I think... Oh my god, that is a nuts hand. We're looking at Dark Patch, Sada, double cross switcher off of Siono. That's rough if you're Sawyer. You do not want to see that, for sure. But obviously Richard is pretty happy about this. He just gets some draw. The most important thing for him though is going to be, I believe, establishing this second Roaring Moon. But it could just be the Moltres, but he doesn't even need to have the Moltres. Doesn't need to be the Moltres because he is just going to have Energy Switch, and he's also going to have a Dark Patch, and then he has Double Cross Switcher Sada in hand, which is just going to lead to game, right? It's just going to be game at this point, regardless of what Sawyer does. Double Cross Switcher Sada will always win. It's pretty much a perfect end. I think Double Cross Switcher Energy is technically the same thing, but it kind of doesn't matter. He's gonna play that. He's gonna play the Double Cross Switchers. That's probably fine, right? Because you're still saying, hey, I have two Pokemon that Oko, right? if Richard has an energy, he wins the game. Period. End of story. There's no real like anything to talk about on that end, right? So let's see here. We're gonna see. He's gonna hesitate playing the rod. Yeah. I'm gonna rod back Psychic Grass, but you know we of course know from Story's End this is a futile effort, but uh, for Sawyer you're gonna have to ask the question whether or not you want to actually like hand disrupt, right? But it's not easy. I believe that is the two cards he needed, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it is Catcher and Mirage Gate. So it needs Mirage Gate to attack and needs Catcher to, not lose. But he's gonna get rid of the gate because he needs the Catcher. So Sawyer's coming to the line that Counter Catcher is his line, right? Counter Catcher, I believe he grabs the I forget. I think we're about to see. Well, that's Rope. I think it's gonna Catcher the Moltres. I think Moltres would be correct here. There's Roxanne. He's gonna get rid of it, which is a shame because we of course know that. Yeah, but he's digging for Psychic. That's what he's digging for, but he's not gonna find it. I think he's gonna catch her. And he's gonna play Roxanne. Okay, yeah, so he's gonna play Roxanne. He is taking Roxanne, so that's important. Obviously, this shouldn't be a hard ask for Richard to find, right? Sawyer, I believe at this point should be on 3 Path to Peaks. I do not remember how many he's playing, but it is definitely it's probably 3. I'm fairly certain of 3. So really, this is not much of an ask. If you're Richard, you just need an energy, out to energy, whatever. Energy switch even works. But Sawyer, of course, has to try. And I believe he's still going to whiff Psychic off of this. He's going to Greninja away Jet and whiff Psychic. Yep. So that is rough, and he's just going to have to pass. But there is energy, and this is interesting to me. So I'm assuming Richard realizes that energy is energy in hand, which he has. He has 1 energy in hand. Is game, right? Because he just retreats and he knocks out the Sableye and wins the game. But instead, he's going to play this Palpad. And he's gonna take his time, looking for his discard while picking out what he wants to shuffle back in, right? He's gonna shuffle his deck, normally, right? Kind of make Sawyer think like, oh shit, he doesn't have it. Oh, that's crazy, right? So he's even gonna look for the discard pile, and then Richard's gonna look for the discard pile. He's gonna pull up the dark energy. He's gonna attach the water, right? And of course, immediately Sawyer scoops, right? Because that's obviously game on board. So we kind of have to ask the question here, like, does Richard do that to slow roll, or did he do that to because he just stream nerfs, right? And wasn't sure if he had it because he wasn't paying attention, or stream nerves are a real thing, right? Especially if it's your first time on stream. So yeah, he's gonna win regardless, right? But obviously, if he did know he had game, playing the Palpet there is pretty bad sportsmanship in my opinion. That's a whole separate debate though. But regardless, we are gonna set up for game 2, and Richard is gonna go first. So let's we already played quite a few cards here. That is replays. Okay, prize cards. Nothing super important on either side. Obviously, small minor pieces that could be good. Sawyer, of course, prizing a gate, a water, a Roxanne, a path, right? These are good cards, but you play multiple copies of them, so the only real issue is that they might be harder to find. The real criminal here is the battle VIP pass at the bottom of the prize cards. Hitting VIP off the prize cards is never fun, but on Richard's end, again, nothing super special. A switch card and a cross switcher might be annoying, but I mean it's not really a big deal at the end of the day. So we see him set up. Richard is just gonna have Squawk double Roaring Moon. Who needs VIP pass, right? And just immediately squawks, yeah. So handle's pretty dead besides Squawk. Nothing to attach the Force Sealstone to. That is fine. So what we're gonna see here, we're gonna see a Pokestop. I believe that's Boss, Roaring Moon, Switch card. I don't know what else is there, but double VIP and discard the Dark is pretty good. He's gonna be able to fill up his bench with whatever he wants here. He's gonna do a price check, of course. And he's gonna grab Moltres and Greninja here. So I think if you're first of all, I think if you're Richard, you should just be immediately playing the second VIP for Mew-EX. I think Mew-EX is always the last card you bench here, for sure. Unless he has no outs to if he has no outs to Sada next turn, and he has an out to Lumen in hand, then of course he leaves the bench space open. But unless that's the case, I don't think you ever don't play second VIP for Mew. But we're gonna see VIP Sada and something else. So Sada Roingman off the concealed cards. So this is actually super good. He has the Sada, which means that now I think you definitely play second VIP. So you might not have had the Sada before, but this should always be a Mew grab. If I remember correctly, that's not what he's gonna grab. He's eyeing up this Morpeko, and I think that is gonna be what he ends up using here. Yeah. So I'm gonna quad energies and discard. Yep. And he's gonna grab the one back out. Yeah. So we talked about this in game one. This is obviously wrong. You're giving Sawyer avenues to go for a Sableye play, which is not an option you should have. There should never be any merit to knocking out this Morpeko on his end. And even if he does want to if he does want to have something to pivot into, right? Obviously, because the Greninja is on the board, spitting at this Morpeko is not wasted anymore. There's actually real value to it. Now, obviously, the Greninja does have a lot of HP, so if you spit at the Morpeko, is a 2-turn knockout on the Greninja, but catcher plays are pretty good in this matchup if you're Sawyer. So there is that, meaning that maybe Sawyer will have an extra turn to Sableye, and the Greninja can really bite Richard in the ass, but this is the play we're going to see. Regardless, Sawyer is going to bench Greninja and use concealed cards. I believe that is Nest Ball, and didn't quite catch the second one, but I think it's Gate. He's going to debate this Colress. He's going to play the Colress. I would have personally preferred Nest Ball first, just a price check, right? Make sure what you actually have and don't have in the deck. Now, granted, I think with 25 minutes left when game one ended, right? I think as Sawyer, you have to be playing fast if you want to finish this game. Because this is, by all means, a favorable matchup for Sawyer, right? I think we do have to acknowledge that. This is a favorable matchup to Sawyer. But he isn't really doing so well right now. And yeah, I think Sawyer should be winning this. I think Sawyer knows he should be winning this. So I don't really know that he'd bother with price checking if this Sawyer is just correct sequencing otherwise. So there's that. The reason I call it out, though, is because I know Sawyer is going to price check later in this, though, but that's besides the point. We're going to see Psychic and Ditto get rid of here, which is rough, but it is what it is. I'm going to bench the Comfy. I'm going to play the Nest Ball. We're going to grab second Tina. I, of course, think that's a mistake. I do not think you should be benching Tinas in this matchup. I think you are much better off just using Cram whenever you can, right? Obviously, don't play as much Pokemon Recovery as other Lost Box decks, but you should be spitting here for sure. But he's not. I believe he's gonna best seeking to end this turn, which is really rough, right? Because you're kind of just saying like Roxanne is my only win condition, which I think was one of the matchups as Tina where that doesn't need to be the case, right? You should have plenty of other win conditions that aren't Roxanne. So yeah. And of course, as we just discussed, Sawyer's going to price check. I also think this is bad on Sawyer's end. I mean, if you want to play a thorough game, right, you obviously price check. I guess that is Sawyer's Sawyer's idea here, but he's gonna go for this. He's gonna go price check, right? Spend some time. That's a minute off the clock that could be spent playing a game 3. Of course, the game does not go to game 3. Spoiler alert. But Sawyer, of course, wants it to. But we're gonna see Chorus Comfy. He has already used Chorus, so Having another one for next turn is nice. And then we're just going to see the Abyss Seeking. So this should be Tina V always, and then I wouldn't be opposed to Nest Ball, but I guess Grass is also fine. Maybe Rod. Rod is, yeah, you know what? Rod is probably best. Rod is probably best on Sawyer then, but yeah, just the Abyss Seeking, which is rough, right? But when you see the Sada from Richard going into his turn, of course now Richard's just going to be able to do all the Roaring Moon things. He's going to hit Water, Pokestop, Trekking Shoes, pretty alright. I don't believe Richard is even there yet, though. But we're going to see the concealed cards. VIP Ultra doesn't really help. So it's going to have to be this Pokestop for Richard. That's going to be Shoes and the Vessel. So Vessel is going to give him even more energies, which I don't remember if he has more ways to accelerate from the script pile. But I do not recall him having much left in hand. So those will help. We're going to see this Trekking Shoe being played here in a second. So Trekking Shoe gets rid of Vessel, takes Dark. Second shoe he had in hand gets rid of Fish, grabs Dark Patch. There we go. So yeah, Richard hits it. Of course, in contrast to game one, he does not have cross switchers. So if Sawyer had left the Comfy in the active, then he wouldn't really be in any danger right now. He would be probably getting smacked by a Morpeko. I guess that's only if Richard has Energy Switch, which I don't think he does. But that is not what happens, of course. So yeah, it's just going to be a Calamity Storm. So Richard takes 2. Just going to try to forward his lead. We're going to see the Chorus from Sawyer. I believe Sableye, Cram, Nest Ball, Comfy. I'm not sure what the last card is, but he's going to get rid of the Nest Ball and the Comfy, which I think is fine. He does have another Nest Ball in hand, so it's not that end of the world. But I would have not minded the Nest Ball before the Chorus there, if I'm being honest. But yeah, 2 energies there from the gate. He is at 7 now. After the Seeking plus the 2 Chorus's and the 1 Comfy. So what are you doing here, Sawyer, right? It's obviously pretty rough. Personally, I really don't want to see this Giratina attacking. If I'm being honest. I think it's kind of copium, but let's see here. I guess if you are Sawyer, though, like forcing Richard to use Frenzied Gouging is probably pretty good, right? Because it opens some avenues with Sableye, which is going to lead into punishing Richard for the double 1 prize bench. But he's getting rid of the Path, what was the debate? Because he was thinking about this for a while. I cannot see the last card. I think it's Mirage Gate? No, I don't know. Yeah, I don't think we can see it. Oh, it might have been the Jet Energy. Okay. Alright. Yeah, we're in Nest Ball for Comfy here, so that's fine on Sawyer's end. Alright, what now? Sorry, we're gonna see Boss and we're gonna see Mirage Gate. So Sawyer is digging for this this V-Star, I believe, right? He's digging for V-Star. He's already used Chorus this turn. He used Greninja, both Comfies, and yeah, it's pretty rough. He's gonna bench the second Sableye. No, not second Sableye. It's first Sableye, but there's the Path, and I believe he's just gonna have to spit here, which I don't hate. I don't hate spit here, but the problem with the problem here is less that he's using spit. Like using spit is fine here, right? The problem is more so that this Tina V is not evolved, which means that Richard can very realistically knock it out without needing to go down to 30 HP. So he is going to have, I believe, double cross switcher and a boss in hand, if I'm not entirely mistaken. So really good stuff on Richard end. Pretty good hand. It's kind of hard to mess up. But it is 1 water off the Sada he's going to play. Gets double Dark Patch Energy Switch. He's going to Energy Switch Water to Greninja. Okay. But what now? He has attached for turn. I believe he attached Dark to bench Roingman. We do have switchers, which he should probably know. He touched last turn. Okay, so yeah, this Roingman is going to be powered up regardless. He's going to switch with the Tino. And now he has 2 fully powered up Roingmoons, and Sawyer, and he's going to go to 2 Prize cards. So it's not looking good for Sawyer. There's an energy switch there off the Pokestop, but it's not really, the big thing he needs, right? So Richard has game next turn in like a million different ways, right? The big one, of course, being Greninja. But the real problem here is that he doesn't really need to have game next turn, right? Hi, Davis. How we doing? Yeah, like Richard doesn't need to win next turn, right? He's up by so much that as long as he can, keep establishing these attackers, he's not. You're not really in a hurry. So Sora knows this. Sora knows that Gust plus Stabilize is only out here. It's his big win condition. If he does want to have a chance here. So we're going to see the gate for single sidekick to save live leave. And it's going to be Pokegear and VIP Pass off of this Comfy. Jet into second Comfy. So I'm assuming we're trying to... Are we Comfying before or after Roxanne? We are going to go catch a Roxanne. Okay. So, yeah, catch a Roxanne. For Sawyer here. Okay. Yeah. So, what do you got in Richard's hand? What's in Sawyer's hand matters a lot less. Richard's hand is the important part here. We're going to see the flower selecting on Sawyer's side. That's switch card Rod. He has gotten rid of a Rod. He needs to keep the second one. But yeah, we are just looking at a Lost Mine here. But this, this Lost Mine needs to like keep happening for a while, right? Sawyer, of course, does have another turn where he can try to Gust, right? But it is still pretty rough. I personally think benching second Stabilize is always fine here. I don't know what else you'd bench at this point in the game, but yeah. We are just going to see, I believe in Lost Mine, he's going to debate where to put damage counters and then probably just go, not all on Roaring Moon, but I believe he goes all until Roaring Moon has 10 HP left. I do think going all until Roaring Moon has 30 HP left is better technically, right? It's not going to matter, but it's just a small thing, right? Obviously this, or not until 30, no, 30 less doesn't make any difference. Okay, yeah, so ignore I said that. That didn't make any sense. I was thinking backwards. But, yeah. Sawyer does not want to take any price cuts here. I think this is absolutely correct on Sawyer's end, right? There's no need, right? There's always second attacker, so taking an attacker off the board doesn't really matter. Putting the last damage on the Moltres is kind of whatever. I guess your win con is going knockout Moltres, Moon, but that seems bad to me because that's 6 prize cards. You don't need to wipe off their free attackers. So I would instead go damage on Moon, damage on Squawk, and then probably do damage on Greninja and Morpeko. Because Greninja and Morpeko together have less HP than the Moltres or the Roaring Moon. So yeah, if you really do want to, you can put 30 damage on the clean Roaring Moon, but again, none of this is going to matter, right? Because I believe that is double energy switch in Richard's hand and a Roaring Moon, but he does not need the the last moon. Just having the 2 energy switches is pretty much game at this point. Sawyer, might want to hand disrupt, but it's kind of hard to justify on Sawyer's end. So yeah, he's gonna put the energy back with Dire Flame Wings, yeah. Go down to 1 prize. Sawyer's going to top deck an Iono, which is quite a good draw, but he does need to attack with the Sableye again, and he does need to find Gust. which means he's gonna grab the boss. He has to grab the boss, right? He has to gust no matter what. The hand disruption will kind of just be a nice bonus at this point, right? Yeah, he's gonna play the boss, and of course we know that's game because Richard does have second energy switch in hand. So yeah, it's rough. I'm pretty sure like Richard was down quite a lot of switch cards, quite a lot of switching cards, and cross switchers, what I meant to say, right? And of course, a lot of energies as well. So maybe hitting all those energy switches was pretty unlikely on Richard's end, but he does get there. He does win. So I mean, well played to Richard, and I mean, I gave Sawyer a lot of shit in this game, right? It's all love, of course. I love Sawyer. Sawyer's my guy. He's my homie. But I do think Sawyer made some mistakes. Probably do like some matchup experience, but starting Tina in both games is just also really rough. Like you can't really play the full Lost Zone single prize game if you start Tina both games. So it's rough. But yeah, I do think Sawyer could have played that better, but it's a lot of nitpicking, right? I mean, Tina's a deck where like every minor mistake can kind of like bite you in the ass. So it's not like Sawyer. I mean, Sawyer didn't make any like one big like fatal misplay, right? There's just a bunch of small things that they might not even have mattered, right? They might not even have mattered, but they could have. But yeah, we're gonna go into a second game here. So this is gonna be another kitchen member, of course. We're gonna see Joe Turrentine versus Lee Bui. It's gonna be Peony Miraidon against Arceus Gigas. So yeah, this matchup's interesting to me, right? I feel like if Lee Bui gets a good early game, he should probably always win. But the Gigas is a really really good attacker. It's Miraidon and one shots everything in the deck, assuming it doesn't have Charm, and it also has 300 HP, which is quite the tall order. That's only Raichu that can knock that out. So, yeah. Let's see what we got here, prize wise. So I believe Lee is gonna prize triple generator, which is really really bad. Joe's prizes aren't great. There's a lot of pretty important supporters, but yeah, comparatively speaking, it's not it's not as bad, right? So yeah, Lee's gonna price triple generator, and we're just gonna get into this game with Lee going first and just using fleet-footed. So I'm assuming if Lee's going first, then Joe win the coin flip and Joe second. That would make sense if he knows what Lee's playing. I mean, an arc deck like because Lee would never choose to go first, and Joe would never choose to go second unless he knows he's playing against Miraidon, specifically Peony Miraidon. So I'm assuming that's what happened, but Lee is just gonna have to prematurely play this Luminion here, which is really really rough actually. But he's gonna be forced to do it, probably out of fear of the Spiritomb, which is fair because if he does have nothing else in hand, it's either bench like if Lee doesn't bench this fish, he's going fleet-footed pass, right? If Joe sees fleet-footed pass, he's gonna go, oh, sick invite, nest ball Spiritomb, right? So if you're Lee, you do kind of have to use this fish here. This is absolutely the correct play, but he's gonna pass, attachment pass. Attachment might be important, but let's see what we got on Joe's side here. We got energy, and what else? Just Niono. So nothing else, nothing going on in the hand. On Joe's end, you get to waste the fish from Lee's side, which is pretty nice. But yeah, what do we got here? We got Arceus. There's a V-Start in the hand. I see an Ultra Ball. I see a Boss. And I see an Energy, and I think that's a Bidoof. I'm not entirely sure. We're gonna Ultra Ball here, and I believe this is gonna be Ultra Ball for Zacian, which I really really like. I really really like Ultra Ball for Zacian here because you still have to respect the fact that Lee can absolutely just go set up a right on a single turn and knock out Arceus V. So by getting Zacian here, you're able to put energy on two different Arceuses, which is basically just going to say, hey, I don't care what you do. Obviously, if they take a prize card, it sucks, but you are still going to get to play the game the next turn. Of course, assuming this list is playing Raihan. I don't know if it is playing Raihan. But assuming if the list is playing Raihan like the San Antonio list, then Joe can always go um, Raihan for DTE and don't need the Zacian. But I still think the Zacian play is correct here. My only real problem with it is that you're not setting a barrel, which I would really, really like to see, because Joe doesn't really have much of a hand. But yeah, this is what we're gonna do. Actually, you know what? I wanna go somewhere with that line for a second here. If Joe had grabbed Bidoof, right, he's gonna leave an energy on this active Arceus, nothing on the bench, right? Then let's say, hypothetically speaking, that Lee does hit the turn 2, he hits turn 2 right on, he knocks out the active Arceus, right? Joe now has no energy on board. His board would then be Arceus V, and it would be the Bidoof, right? If you grab Bidoof instead of the Zacian, then from there he would able to go draw for turn, evolve into V Star, V Star for DTE Raihan, and then go Raihan for Barrel, right? Which would have given him a draw engine. Um, is that correct? I don't know. Maybe. Joe is kind of going to brick this game, if I'm recalling correctly. So maybe in hindsight it would have been better. But regardless, that is not what he's going to go for. Because the problem is that if, of course, that does happen, you don't have any attacker, you don't have any backup attacker, right? You're kind of at the mercy of what you draw off barrel, but it is better than being at the mercy of your top deck. So there is that. But Nest Ball is going to happen. We're going to see Ultra Ball from Miraidon first, then we're going to see Nest Ball from Mew, and I believe no tandem unit yet. That's interesting. I'd kind of always assume we're going to see the tandem unit here, but that's not the case. Nope, never mind. We are going to see the tandem unit. Okay. Yeah, this is definitely the time to do it, and I think it's always Mareep and Miraidon seems fine. Yeah, Mareep Miraidon because you're going to attack with a Miraidon, and you're not... Okay, so just going to grab Mareep. That's also fine. The thing is, you're not expecting your Miraidon to get knocked out, but it's also, like, kind of not impossible, right? It is impossible in this case, but it's definitely not something you should like entirely count out. So I don't hate getting the Miraidon here if you're Lee. There's nothing really else like you want on your bench immediately. But if your Miraidon does get knocked out, then you have the second Miraidon, which can get up your follow-up attacker, which would be Raichu in this case, probably. So yeah, we're gonna see the Peony after. I don't believe after Fleet Footed. He does not use Fleet Footed. So yeah, just gonna Peony. Which is good, right? He's probably going to look for how many generators you have and notice that he has a singular generator, which is not a lot. So he's going to need a double energy off of this. But I believe he did use restart. Okay, he did use restart, which I guess is pretty important, right? Joe also really wants the Path in this matchup. That's another aspect to it. Path is really, really good into this because it shuts down pretty much Lee's entire deck. And if Lee doesn't have attackers, it can make a big difference. So when it's the generator, it's going to hit double energy. So Lee is allowed to play Pokemon this game, which in turn means Joe is not. That is unfortunately how these things go. But this last card, I believe, is going to be the Charm, which I don't know where this Charm actually goes, but he's gonna just fleet into a card I can't see, and I think he's gonna hold the Charm, which I actually think is quite good, because it lets you hold it until the Gigas comes down, because you're not really threatened by anything yet. Charming Mew wouldn't be terrible, but yeah. So Joe's hand is bad. It is Boss, Energy, and V-Star. One of the energies is V-Guard. V-Guard's pretty good, but the problem is that his two energies are not DTE. Oh no, he didn't have another Psychic, sorry. So it's just Boss's Order and V-Guard energy in his hand. Which is not a lot to work with if we are Joe. But he's eyeing up that Gigas. Gigas would be an awesome card to grab here, but the problem here for Joe is your follow-up from your Arceus, right? You are going to need a lot. You're going to need to draw some cards, which I believe is why we're going to see a Nest Ball. Yep, we're going to see Nest Ball DTE and then Mew off the Nest Ball. I kind of don't know if I agree with this. The problem here for Joe is that if you Nest Ball for like Gigas V or Arc V, you don't have the evolution, right? Which is really, really bad. So you're probably in a spot where you're feeling forced to draw into multiple cards that have to all be good. But Boss DTE here is still good. But off of this Mew, we're going to see an Energy and a Supporter. I believe Psychic Energy and Sharon's Care, which is really, really bad. And here Joe's going to do something that's technically a misplay. He's going to go for his deck. He's going to find energies. He's going to realize that, of course, because he did draw a Psychic off of the restart, he is not going to have 3 energies there. But I still think Joe should have attached... I'll pause this real quick. I do still think Joe should have attached the 2 Psychics to the Zacian, right? Because it's something. It's anything to attack with next turn, right? If you have to. It wouldn't have mattered realistically, but I do still think it's the correct play. You do have both the V-Guard and the Psychic in hand, so next turn there's, I guess, like a potential line where Lee maybe goes Raichu. You're kind of assuming Raichu is going to happen if you're Joe here. You're assuming there's going to be a Raichu. You're assuming your Arceus is going to die, right? You have to as Joe. I just think you do. But yeah, he is going to make the call to not do it, and I think if he goes double Psychic, V-Guard from hand next turn, he could probably like stall out the game a little longer if Lee isn't able to find more energies, but it realistically wouldn't have mattered, right? You kind of never assume that that Zacian's going to carry you for this game as a solo attacker with 2 Psychic Energies on it. So even with 3, 150 just is not that much. So you were never one-shotting anything, and you are getting one-shot by Miraidon. So it's rough. It's a rough time. But we are going to see Lee just immediately tandem unit for the Raichu. Obviously acknowledging the fact that, hey, if he sets up Raichu and he gets, I believe, 6 energies. Well, 6 times 5... No, it's 5, isn't it? Yeah, 5 energies would be enough. 6 energies if there was a V-Guard, but it's regardless not a tall order because he does just need 2 energies on this Raichu regardless. So he either has 6 or he doesn't have it, right? But there's gonna be a generator here. There's gonna be a whiff. I believe this generator off the prize cards if you leave. We're gonna fleet-foot it. There's an Ultra Ball in hand, there's an energy in hand, so he does still have it, right? He absolutely still has it. Because he always just goes attached and he goes Ultra Ball for Fluffy. I believe the last card in his hand, I think, is second Mew. Which is actually really, really good. So, yeah, if you're Joe, you're not having a good time. Yeah, I would not like this. I believe that is Mew. And we're going to see restart. And we are going to see Dynamotor. And this Raichu is just going to come in here and hit for big damage. And yeah, knock out the Arceus here. And from here, it's going to be, a quick wrap up, right? There's an Iono on Joe's end, right? But I don't even think he's going to hit. Yeah, he has Barrel and like 2 supporters. Energy, yeah, Dynamotor, done. It's a really rough game on Joe's end, right? Not a lot going on, unfortunately. He could have maybe gone for that barrel play I was talking about earlier, sticking with the barrel instead of going for the Zacian, but we kind of don't know whether or not that would have actually helped, right? It might not have changed the fact that he didn't have attackers. What Joe could have also done is Joe could have gone for Reggie V and Reggie V Star instead of the barrel and set up that, which would have worked, right? Even with him drawing into quite a lot of energies actually. So maybe that would have been better. Maybe not even like bothering setting up the barrel, going for the Reggie instead. You would have had an attacker. You would have had Iono off the prize cards. So it wouldn't have been that bad, but it's still be rough regardless. But too late for that now. We're gonna go into game 2, and this is gonna get rough if I'm not mistaken. So real quick, flapping the prize cards is really, really bad for Lee, but of course there's still generators left. So besides that, Joe's prize cards are kind of whatever. A path being there and a Squote being there is annoying. It's not the end of the world, but we're gonna see Joe triple bench Arceus, attach CTE to the bench and pass. I do not think his hand is very good. I think I saw a boss and I saw a barrel in there. So not a lot going on Joe's side of the board, but we're gonna see the Pokemon catcher on Lee's end, and it's gonna be heads, and Joe is going to lose his mind, put bluntly. But the judge is gonna ask to read the Pokemon catcher, and we're just gonna see the Peony here. So quite annoying cards to get rid of if you're Lee off this Peony, but it's not the end of the world. I believe Lee is only playing one VIP pass, which he did actually prize, um, which means he's actually kind of not doing a lot here. You go Nest Ball for Sealstone, go Nest Ball from Miraidon, and grab like Raikou second Miraidon, maybe. Raichu wouldn't be bad, Marik wouldn't be bad. Of course, if he checks that the Fafi's prize, then it's not as good. But he's going to grab the generator off of here. So if anything, he is going to be able to set up a board because of the Miraidon. Because of the tandem unit, he's going to be able to use the generator, and then regardless of how much he hits, he's able to draw 3 off of restart. So yeah, it is kind of rough though because you kind of don't have a good way of getting the Squawkabilly, which is the real problem here, right? There's no real out Squawkabilly. You would have loved to see VIP pass in the deck just to get some Peony or to have the Squawk play, but that is wait pause. Why are we? Oh, that was generator. Okay. I thought for a second I thought we were restarting because of the circle on the Mew. Thank you NA production. But yeah, it's gonna be 1 energy off this Miraidon. He's now down 2 generators already, right? So we are gonna see the Mew being used. I believe that's Pokemon Catcher, and I can't see what else. Beach Court, Luminion. So it's bad. We're gonna see second catcher. He's gonna he's gonna put the he's gonna put the Arceus back in the active one without energy, and he's gonna pass it over to Joe, I think. Problem is, I don't think there's anything in Joe's hand. I see Barrel, I see Boss. I see another Boss. And pass. Okay, so Joe is bricking. He's gonna boss up this Miraidon, probably trying to deny generator, right? But of course, Lee is just gonna have this. He's gonna have this beach court. He's going to tandem unit first. I think if you're tandem unit, you're grabbing Miraidon. Is the attacker you want to have here? You have a fish in hand. Fish is gonna be out to Peony. Peony for like double generator, or generator for Sealstone. Because if you then hit a just 2 energy right off the bat, you can force Sealstone into last energy. Double generator is bad. I think generator for Sealstone though is just always better, in my opinion. Especially because if you do that, what you're able to do is you're able to use the first generator regardless of what it hits. You attach the force Sealstone, then you use restart. Then from there, depending on what you hit off of both the generator and the force seals and the restart, you're able to decide whether or not you want to play another force seal, or you want to play another generator, whether or not you want to just grab an energy. Maybe you all of a sudden figure out, hey, I could use a third Pokemon catcher, right? Or hey, maybe I just hold Force Sealstone, right? So I think I prefer generator Force Sealstone here if I'm lead, but again, at the end of the day, the main goal is just to set up this Miraidon. Nothing else really matters. So yeah, we're gonna see the we're gonna see the triple energy off the top. Can we get a replay on the Joe reaction real quick? Guys, Lee just shows it. Yeah, just so fucking stupid. I love making fun of Joe, but I love him. Yeah, no, we're gonna see the second generator is gonna hit 1 energy. That's all it needs to do. And Joe is not having a good time. He's not liking his life right now. But that is, yeah, it's Choice Belt at the last card. So it's Boss, but Barrel, Choice Belt in Joe's hand, which is, it's not good. It's not great. But Lee is now down 4 generators, which is important because it means that if Joe does hit something good off this top deck, it could be relevant. But we're gonna attach for turn to bench Miraidon. Just insult to injury, right? And yeah, we're gonna knock out this Arceus. So just gonna pray for a top deck, and it's gonna hit an energy. It's not ideal. It's not great. There is, I mean, I guess you can go attach to either Arceus, Trinity Charge, power up the other one, right? Just you kind of get to do um, fully power up both Arceus, which is like not bad, but and honestly though, like having Belt triple basic energy, I guess I should say no DTE um, plus Belt on Arceus. It's pretty good in this matchup, but yeah, it's not looking great. We're gonna see Ultra Ball on Lee's end. Um, no Flaffy, which is bad, of course. Um, because obviously, if you had Flaffy, just go Beach Court Retreat. Because he doesn't need to retreat this Miraidon to do anything next turn, or I guess this turn. But yeah, I'm gonna see Iron Hands as the grab here. I think Squawk is probably a better grab, but again, it doesn't really matter that much. It's more so of Iron Hands can be thinned out by tandem units, Squawk cannot. So thinning out Squawk ability, for example, or like other lightning Pokemon is technically better, but it's small nitpicking. It probably won't make a difference, but yeah. We'll see Charm on the Raichu, and then we are not going to use the Restart. We're just going to use Research, which is probably correct. It's probably correct. Then there's going to be a Rope. Of course, that is like the worst card for Joe that Lee could possibly hit. Because now, of course, this Arceus, which has been powered up, is not doing anything. We're going to see a Mew. Okay. We're going to see Boss on, I would assume, probably either Fish or Mareep. Fish is fine. Boss into Path Raihan, I think. Nope, stop, Joe. Okay, Path, Nova, or Charge, as it say, but he has energy, yeah, and then Joe skips. That's a rough game. That's a really, really rough game of you, Joe. I really can't help but wonder if Joe's like one mistake in game one maybe could have cost him the series, right? I do think he had like a very winnable line that he kind of just missed in game one, but it's such a small thing, right? And there's no guarantees that would have actually worked. So yeah. Unlucky though. I mean, really just terrible draws in game two of your Joe. But the game one, I do think setting up Gigas would have been better than establishing the Zacian. So yeah, maybe should have exploited Raihan a bit, but didn't happen. But I'll give Joe shit for that later. Don't you worry. I have like a whole list of things I want to give him shit for. I'm just gonna add that to that list. All right, let's find the next round. This is going to be an interesting matchup. So, I don't really know either of these players really well. I do know that Terrence here on the right, I think he went 8-1 in Swiss, so quite good. But he's going to be playing DT Mew, and on the left, people who watching my stream last week might, or I guess this week I should say, might recognize what's in Hugo's prize cards. Hugo is playing Ghlodengo Palkia, which is a deck that I have now acquired some very mixed opinions on after playing it myself for a bit. It's definitely going to be interesting. DT and Mew should be one of your better matchups as Hugo, especially with the Milotic, right? You kind of counteract that Judge. Build up big hands, you don't really need to take just two big explosive knockouts to win the game. So yeah, I do not believe Hugo is playing the Kyogre. I'm kind of personally reaching the conclusion that Kyogre is not good in the deck, but that's besides the point. This isn't about me. This is about Hugo, and Terrence, of course. Yeah, so let's see how this goes. We're gonna see Hugo going first, starting Manaphy, benching Gimmighoul. I'm assuming Gimmighoul off the top or off a mulligan, and yeah, just VIP immediately. Gimmighoul Greninja seems like pretty alright grabs, especially if he is trying to use Conceal Card this turn. But yeah, I do see an Energy in hand. I see a Pokestop. Let's see what we grab here. Ghlodengo and Energy. That's a really good drop. That's a really, really good hit, because then you have the Retreat on the Manaphy, and you have the Ghlodengo for next turn. Ooh, that is a rough Pokestop, though. That is bad, because you do need that Phoebus. We're not attaching. I want to see Hugo's hand again, because we're not attaching this water energy in hand. See if we can get a better view of his hand here. After the Pokestop, he just flashed a bit. Yeah. So I don't know what the card to the far left is, but that's Cross Switcher, Energy Retrieval, Ghlodengo, Water Energy. You should definitely always be attaching this Water to Manaphy here, just so you can retreat, right? Even if it goes to waste for whatever reason, it either A, gives you a pivot later in the game, or B, it goes to discard and just an energy recycle target. So it's not the end of the world if you lose it, but he's going to decide to hold it, I guess. You know, kind of wanting to have a concealed cards out maybe, but of course that's what the Ghlodengo in hand is there for. The big problem here, though, that is he's very vulnerable to Path this turn. There's no out to Path in hand. And he did just get rid of Double Worker off of this Pokestop. So, yeah, it's not looking great for Hugo right off the bat here. But let's see how this ends up going on Terrance's side. So, Genesect, I believe off of VIP, and Featherball from you. So, good start already. We see a TM Devo in hand, which is quite good against Ghlodengo. And just a Judge. So this is fine. This is pretty good. You get to attach this box. Box is also super important in this matchup because, what's it called? Your power tablets are not enough to go through 3 Gholdengos. Ghlodengo has 260 HP, which makes it really hard for Mew with DTE to one-shot. You do need triple tablet, which you can only do once in the game. Otherwise, you are one-shotting or you are two-shotting. So. Box is super important in this matchup, and this matchup should be pretty favored for Hugo as a result of that, right? Assuming you can set up these Gholdengos. But we're going to see Forest Seal Stone onto a Genesect. It's going to draw 1. We're going to Ultra Ball. I'm assuming Terra has checked his prize cards and figured out that there is nothing important in there. Basic Pokemon-wise, Heavy Ball and DT Mew is quite the choice, if I'm being honest. I don't really know why we're playing it. I mean, there's certainly worse cards you can play, but I can't really imagine that it's really worth it in the deck. But that's besides the point. We're going to play this Force Seal Stone, and we're going to grab Path. So I'm assuming there's a Vacuum in hand for next turn, so that Terrence gets to play his Pokemon. But Pathing Hugo and judging him is very good. But let's see what he hit here. So he did hit. Ooh, that is a great judge. Worker, first of all, there's a Ghlodengo. Double Energy Palkia is a great grab. We're going to Concealed cards away water. We're gonna hit VIP Metal. There's an Irido for next turn as well, but we're gonna go Ghlodengo. There's still a Superior. There's another card I don't recognize on his hand. I think that might be Palkia V-Star. I'm not sure though. It might be Palkia V, but we're gonna coin bonus for 1 is gonna be a Water Energy. So now, I mean, Hugo is kind of getting punished for not attaching last turn. He definitely should have. But he's just gonna pass with the Manaphy in the active. Which I guess is what it is, right? We're going to see DTE, VMAX, Belt, and Boss, which is a great hit on Terrance's side. Nothing off the Cram. Draw until you have 4, or draw 4 cards, I should say. Oh, no, this is Fusion. Or, no, sorry, this is DTE Mew, but there is a Fusion Energy. This is for the Spirit Gem. Okay, yeah. That's what that is. Which is also good. Don't get me wrong, it's pretty good. But see, Gen for 1. What are we vacuuming here? We're gonna get rid of the Fusion Energy, which is smart because it's a dead card. And yeah, again, nothing really off of this third Genesect. You kind of want to see Path, but Techno Blast is fine. I'm gonna knock out this Palkia, and now of course this Manaphy is stranded. Quick display on Hugo's end. This Manaphy should be promoted. He needs to discard this energy so we can get back with Retrieval. Now you have a Water Energy that's stranded on this Manaphy. It's going to make it so that it's just 1 less resource you have that should be in the discard pile that you could retrieve back, but it being stuck on the Manaphy just accomplishes nothing. So, minor misplay there. Let's see if he does get punished, but we're going to conceal the cards into Avery Metal Energy. We have quite a lot of energies. I'm going to coin bonus for 2. We're going to see Retrieval and Milotic. So Milotic's dead because Phoebus is in discard. I do really like seeing the Avery here. The Avery is really good. We're going to get rid of Mew and Genesect. That's definitely correct. I think Palkia V-Star, Worker, Pokestop is the grabs off of the Avery. Pokestop is some really, really good cards. Yeah, Retrieval, Cross Switcher, nice, nice. We love to see it. Energy to the Ghlodengo. I'd love to see 3 in here. There's 4. Okay, there is 4. So this retreat on the man if it doesn't matter though. Actually, maybe it does. Maybe because he has the normal energy. It does matter. Yeah, it does actually matter. He is going to get punished here. That's crazy. So he has 5 energy in discard now. 1, 2. Off of that, he should have 3 left. So there's 4. 4 in hand, right? If he's able to get the 3 left out of the discard pile with Superior, then he knocks out the Mew, right? But there is 2 left right now. There would have been 3 left if he had retreated the Manphy. So Hugo is actually going to get punished here. Hugo gets punished quite severely and is just going to have to settle for 200, which is not great. But yeah, Terrence is going to refill his bench here. Just Genesect from hand, Featherball from Mew. Which is a pretty, typical Mew response to Knavery, but the problem is the second Knavery. If there is a second Knavery, I'd be very surprised if there was, but if there is a second Knavery, it is going to be quite rough on Hugo. Actually, something I would have quite loved to see, actually, is, Hugo kind of, like, fixing his misplay there by, instead of going for the energy retrieval, that play, he played the superior energy retrieval, which would mean he could make it rain for 300 damage, right? And then actually this Manaphy with water energy would be able to knock out the Mew VMAX. So he would have had that line. I don't think hitting for 200 really accomplished anything. Of course, if you have the damage, you do put it on, right? Because you're scared of Judge. You do want to just put damage on the board while you can. But we do have the Manaphy is there, right? If you're going to leave the Manaphy in play with this water energy, might as well make use of it, right? So yeah, misplaying Hugo's part again, right? Is kind of doubling down into, into this misplay. This Manaphy is getting 0 value. This energy is completely stranded. He's not making any use of this energy. Whereas if he had made use of this energy, in really any way, whether it's retreating or attacking next turn, he'd be in much better position. But that's not what's going to happen here, which is unfortunate. But yeah, double tablet's going to be played. So Terrence is going to need to see 1 more tablet. But this is the turn he's going to go for it. So we're going to see here, draw into 6. There's a Cram. There's energy. There's a TM Devo. Terrence will have access to Pokestop, which definitely could be relevant. But we're going to see Cram away the Vacuum. He's going to whiff it. And we're going to play the Ultra Ball. Okay, so getting rid of Path and TM Devo is kind of rough. TM Devo at this stage of the game probably isn't going to matter. The Path is rough, though. You definitely want to keep that. But we're going to draw until 6 again. There's the tablet, I should say. And there's also a Path. So we are gaming. We are chilling over Terrence. I believe we also haven't played a supporter, so this Judge is also going to be really good. He's going to draw for 1. Then he's going to play the Path and play the Judge. Yep, great. Yeah, so you're just completely messing up Hugo's board here. You cannot one-shot another Ghlodengo. So this could get a bit sketchy if Terrence is able to not only establish Ghlodengo, but also go back-to-back knockouts. In that sense, Terrence actually isn't in control of the game. But being able to path Judge here is just going to increase his odds by all means. Quite the good draws on Hugo then, though, off this Judge. But I do not believe he has the Path Bump. I think that's the one thing he's missing, which is quite rough. Yeah. I mean, listen, John. I agree, right? But the problem is he's kind of Hugo's not playing the best here. First, I mean no disrespect to Hugo, right? He's still 5-0, right? You have to play well throughout the tournament to be at 5-0 at any point. So I can't really give him shit, but I will still point out misplays when I see them. That's why we're here after all. It's educational. But we're going to see Gimmighoul from hand, Nestball for Gimmighoul from deck. And that is, I believe, Worker and Superior Energy Retrieval. So, no, that's Palkia V-Star. Okay, so it's bad. Um, is not a lot going on here. So that path is sticking. The path is doing its job. Um, Terrence is going to rotate between these Mews and Tackle Blast, putting himself in a spot where boss is game, which is definitely the correct thing to do here. Terrence doesn't have to do anything special. We're going to see Worker off the top. It's Iridel, Water, and Earthen Vessel. When Earthen Vessel away Water, there is just no way that's correct. It needs to be keeping that Water energy around. You have energy in this card pile. There is a Palkia V-Star in hand, which is completely dead, which should absolutely be thrown away instead. General, it's the Ghlodengo making the misplays. Okay, stop the Mew hate for a second. We're gonna see the concealed cards, and we're gonna see the coin bonus. Heavy Ball is a card I am very happy to see in Hugo's deck. That card is nuts in the deck. Is nuts in Ghlodengo. But I think he's just going to realize that this game is pretty unwinnable. Yeah, he's going to scoop it up. All right. So good scoop on Hugo's end. So Hugo doesn't know what he's doing. I mean, to a certain extent, right? I'm giving him a lot of shit, but obviously it might be his first game on stream. Stream nerves are very real, right? I say this a lot, but I mean, seriously, we do expect way too much of people who play on stream because it is a lot of pressure to be on stage, especially if it's your first time. Be nice to people on stream. We can, of course, critique their gameplay. Learn from it, right? Stream games are a great resource to grow as a player, but always remember that most people who talk shit about people playing on stream are not good enough to make it on stream in the first place. So keep that in mind, right? It's worth thinking about. But yeah, Terrence is gonna go up again. What I'm noticing here, because spoiler alert, Terrence is going to win this series. What I'm noticing here, it's being our third stream game so far, is that the seemingly side of the table that's unfavored matchup-wise is the one that has won every time. We've seen Roaring Moon beat Tina. We've seen Miraidon beat Arceus. I do believe that matchup is favored for Arceus, by the way. And we are going to see here in a second, we're going to see Mew beat Ghlodengo, which is a bad matchup for Mew. What's in the prize cards? Actually, let's check this. We're going to see 1-1 Palkia is really rough. I believe it is a 1-1 Palkia in Hugo's deck in general, so that is just really, really bad. Let's see in the prize cards. Canceling Clone doesn't matter. Nothing super important on Hugo's side. A lot of good cards. Not on Hugo's side, on Terrence's side. A lot of good cards, but nothing that's like the end of the world. Yeah, so once again, Hugo is going to start this Mana Feat, which is not great. I can't assume it was a choice. When he says Nest Ball, he's going to be pulling up a Greninja. Here's a second Nest Ball. All right. For a Phoebus. Nice. Phoebus is obviously very good in this matchup. You want to be protecting yourself from the judge. And then we're going to see the Earthen Vessel for water energy and metal energy, and then a second Earthen Vessel for two more water. Yeah. So we're gonna go water early game. I don't inherently disagree with this. Problem is that if he is expecting to get to use his Palkias, he has to be playing two. I don't think he is. There's a Gimme Goal, there's an Ultra Ball, so it's not great. We're just gonna pass here. I'm probably needing the Ultra Ball for a what's it called, for a Ghlodengo next turn, but Terrence is just going to do his Mew things, set up a board, play VIP pass, attach energies, etc. Not a lot to commentate on that. It is just Mew stuff going on, but yeah. Yep, double Genesect off of the VIP here. Let me actually... Here we go. Cool. Yeah, no, yeah, we're going to see Ejection Terrence after the first Genesect here. So, probably correct. Getting the Judge here is good. Like, yeah, Hugo didn't have like the most explosive turn, but you did just see him put a shit ton of energy into his deck, into his hand, I should say. So, the Judge is pretty alright. And of course, you're obviously looking at the path, right? Path is always good. Hugo does play like a million path bumps, right? 4 Pokestop, 3 to 4 worker. I'm assuming if you're playing the Avery, you're probably not playing 4 worker, but it's still quite a lot. So yeah, we're gonna see VIP from Terrence grabbing the third Mew. So now Terrence is just at the board he wants to be at, which is really, really nice for him. And he's gonna draw until 6. He is gonna have to pass, but he's gonna play the Cram first, which is interesting. I'm not sure that I agree with that necessarily. I don't know if that's happened. There we go. Yeah, so what did he grab? Sorry, I missed that. What did he grab off of this Cramorant? Not Cramorant. Off of this Cramomatic is what that card is called. Okay, can you like knock it down, man? What do we got here? We've got... I did not catch it. Okay, never mind then. I'm sure we'll see it in just a second. It might be Box Disaster. That's what they're pulling up. Yeah, it's Box Disaster. Okay. Box is a good grab here. Box is good. You front on active Mew when you pass. Yeah. Kind of saying like, hey, if you draw the stones, you know, I'm gonna put myself in a position where I can respond to it, which is really, really good. We're gonna see draw for turn here and immediately play the Pokestop, of course. Greninja away the Metal Energy for Pokestop and Water. That's pretty good. But we're once again in the position where Hugo didn't make this mistake last game. Didn't attach to the Manaphy turn 1. He could have done it this game as well. He had plenty of energy in hand. Could have attached to the Manaphy and had to pivot. But now Hugo is in a position where if he wants to attack, he just has to find Cross Switcher. But the main thing here is that Hugo doesn't even want to attack this turn, right? If anything, he wants to attack with Gimmighoul or even the Manaphy. Manaphy, like Rain Splash here, would actually be really, really good. What Hugo should be doing here is he should be punishing this Box Disaster play by going Rain Splash into the active Mew. This is not only going to put him in a position where he now needs less energy to knock out that specific Mew, but he's also going to break the Box of Disaster, which is obviously a big deal in this matchup. He does not need to be taking knockouts on anything that is not a Mew VMAX. Mew VMAX is pretty much the only thing he wants to be knocking out here, so taking unnecessary knockouts here is definitely a trap for Hugo, and I think for that reason, Terrence attaching this box is actually also a misplay. Because if Hugo does knock out this active Mew, it is only a good thing for Terrence. And it's going to put him in a position where his Ionas are more active, assuming that Hugo does not find Milotic, of course. But Hugo getting 2 prize cards here will not matter, right? Because he's not going to go 2/2/2. That would require him to gust every turn, which is not exactly likely or really all that correct for Hugo. But we're going to see Avery, which is annoying for Terrence. But it is what it is. We're going to see the Pokestop. We're going to see Superior, Battle of AP Best, and Ghlodengo. Ghlodengo going is rough. Superior plus a very burnable card is pretty nice, so you can't complain too much. We're going to see the Heavy Ball. I'm assuming for this Palkia V that's in there. Yeah. You're just going to have to hope that you see the Palkia V-Star off the prize cards eventually. I guess with Palkia, you can go for this 2/2/2 line, but I still think it is very, very incorrect. Palkia V-Star is now at the bottom of the prize cards, which is awesome if you're Hugo. But what now? What now are we doing? Because this board really isn't achieving much. We do have a Ghlodengo, right? We do have a Ghlodengo, right? No, we don't. Okay, I'm just tripping. There is a Superior Energy Retrieval, Cross Switchers, yeah. Okay. He's not going to push his Palkia. I actually really like this play. But unfortunately, Terrence is just going to have this boss onto the Gimmighoul. Not being able to find more Gimmighoul is really, really rough on Hugo's end. Especially not, like, not evolving it is one thing, but not finding more Gimmighoul is something even worse. Because you do need to establish a board. So we kind of have 3 water Pokemon on Hugo's side that are just kind of standing there not doing anything. Which in that regard, maybe, getting Palkia was actually correct there. Because now you put you put Terrence in a spot where he either takes prize cards off the Palkia or he ruins the board by taking out the Gimmighoul, but regardless, you do have something to do next turn. So yeah, there should have been a Palkia bench there for sure. But we're going to see a Pokestop again. It's going to be Worker, Metal, and Ultra Ball. Ultra Ball is something, at least. There should be an Irida in Hugo's hand, if I'm not mistaken. But we're going to be Ultra Ball away, double VIP. For a Gimmighoul. I'd be surprised if it wasn't a Gimmighoul. Yep, more shuffled up. And I don't think Hugo has played a supporter, but I would really like to see this Irida if he does have one. Or maybe he doesn't have an Irida. Nope, it's going to be a pass again. Okay, no supporters on Hugo's end. I don't know why I thought he had an Irida there. Terrence is definitely chilling, but if you're Terrence here, you're trying to now minimize your mistakes. You're trying to make sure that there's nothing you're missing, right? That you're not putting yourself in the position where Hugo does have a win condition. Of course, this board is quite good for Terrence, and he's gonna have the boss. The boss is the most important thing here because as long as he keeps bossing these gimmicks, then nothing is gonna happen. But yeah, another add to benching the Palkia there is you're actually kind of baiting Terrence if you do bench the Palkia, because of course we know that Palkia V-Star is priced. Hugo knows that Palkia V-Star is priced, but Terrence doesn't. So if you bench a Palkia, you can bait Terrence into knocking out the Palkia instead of knocking out the Gimmighoul, which would have given Hugo a way to play the game. But regardless, that's not going to happen. He's going to top deck VIP pass, which is really bad, and he's just going to have to conceal card again because there's nothing else going on. Retrieval and cross switcher. I don't think it's just. I think it's just retrieval, VIP, cross switcher. No, there's an ultra ball, which I don't think he had. Must have top deck. I don't know. He's going to discard this block KV. Again, he's heavily telegraphing that the second Palkia, or the Palkia V Stars priced, when he should be benching the Palkia and kind of trying to bluff Terrence, because you're losing regardless, right? So you have to kind of put yourself in a position where you can still win. But yeah, we're going to see the Cram. It's going to be a Tails. We have Judge Path, Power Toplet, and Terrence's hand. I don't know if I like Judge here. I like Path. We have a. Oh, that's not Path. That's Echoing Horn. Okay. Well, Echoing Horn doesn't necessarily do anything, but that's going to be the Forest Seal Stomp being played for a Palpad. Okay, so Palpad back double boss. Nice. I like that a lot. You're going to be able to start drawing into those again. You do have your triple Genesect to the left, so yeah, this seems quite good. This seems quite good for Terrence. You're drawing 2. Okay, not the greatest. You do want to hold those resources. You have to attach the DTE. I think you should have played the Echoing Horn beforehand, but we're going to see a Power Tablet used as well. We're going to hit the boss, but I want to pause on that tablet real quick. Terrence, this is going to be Terrence's first tablet of the game. He knows, of course, that he does need triple tablets, not a Gimmighoul, a Ghlodengo. So maybe holding all of his tablets there would have been correct. But he is able to burn 1, right? I'm just not convinced that this is the time you need to burn him, especially this being the second Genesect out of 3. If you really need to dig that badly, he would have just done on the last one, on the last Genesect. So I don't agree with playing the tablet there, but it's, like, he can burn 1, right? And he does, so that's fine. But yeah, hi Matthew, how are we doing? But yeah, Cram, away vacuum, just gotta draw some more cards, don't matter. Yeah, we're gonna knock out, we're gonna go for the Palkia. Okay, now this is interesting. So we go for the Palkia here. I guess if your Terrence are going on to 2, and you have triple tablet left, so I guess this is probably correct, right? Arc deck did make the stream. Arceus was on stream. Joe Torrentine. He did unfortunately double break to Miraidon though, so there's that. But Arc was on stream. Yeah, but we are seeing the Irida being played. Rod Melodic. I fail to see that Melodic is really going to change anything for Hugo at this point, but I guess there is really no other water Pokemon you'd ever want, as your Palkia line is either in the prize cards or in the discard pile. This is double cross switcher, so yeah, I think Hugo is trying to potentially boss stall his way out of this game, which isn't necessarily a terrible line. I'm assuming Terrence is down quite a lot of switch cards. And of course down 3 DTE, we see them all on the board, so There is a very reasonable way that we just see a strip with, especially leaving no two prizes in play. I'm assuming Hugo's win condition here is going to be, yeah, he's going to go ahead and say, boss here if, what's it called? If Terrence retreats, takes a knockout, you go boss again, and then you win the game. Hopefully, if Terrence doesn't have the resources. He might just barely have the resources, though. One extra action I'm very, very, very curious about. Do not shuffle Hugo. Thank you. Yeah, this is the interaction I was interested in. So the judge can be played, apparently. That's what we're seeing here. Judge can be played on Terrence's side. But the effect will only affect Terrence. It will not affect Hugo in any way because he has Melodic in play. So we're going to see some more cards drawn here. We're going to see the Escape Rope into the Melodic. And of course, there should be at least one DTE left. So this boss stall strat from Hugo will not work. Hugo now knows this, right? Unless he, of course, has to hope that the last prize card is just a DTE, right? That might just be his last line of defense. I personally think that his odds are better if he tries to knock out the Mew. It cannot, however, be the one with box, obviously, because that will just allow perfect math for Terrence. So, but we are going to see the boss on to Genesect. And I guess Hugo is just kind of hoping that Terrence does not have DTE left in deck. But I guess we're going to see right here, yep, DTE in deck. He's going to shuffle it up, and then he's going to play his entire hand. Triple tablet, Gen for 5, or Gen for 6, and draw his entire deck, and bing, and done. Yeah, so, yeah, knocks out that. He had boss in hand as well. And Terrence is going to win against the Ghlodengo. So yeah, Ghlodengo's a pile. It's a fun pile, but obviously, we saw Hugo drawing quite poorly there. I do think he got punished for a couple of big misplays, but regardless of that, his luck was really, really poor. So, there's a real shot. It just wouldn't have mattered, right? So that is rough. It is rough. So that was round, I believe that was round 6 we just did. So, here's a game I'm very interested in seeing that's going to come up here in a second. We are going to see Hector Ibarra and Grant Shen. Of course, I played locally in Chicago for a year and a half, and Hector and Grant are both Chicago locals, two of the best Chicago locals at that. Yeah, of course, Grant Shen needs no introduction, but this is Hector's first time on stream. Hector runs a YouTube channel as well, DefCon, and he's really, really good. He's been playing for a very long time. Has been a top 8 has been eluding him, but he's very, very good. He's a menace to Chicago locals, and he is a very, very talented player. But it's going to be Tina on Dan's, not Dan's end, Hector. We call him Dan, but his name is Hector. Tina on Hector's end, and Zard for Grant. With Hector going first here, sees Rotom active, is going to then immediately fetch the Tomb. I believe the selecting there was a Nest Ball and a Boss's Order on Hector's side. I do remember this game 1 being really, really close watching it live, though. So I'm actually quite excited to go over this. But yeah, we're going to see Nest Ball, Nest Ball for second Comfy and just Jet Energy into it. Nice. Water Energy switch card. We're going to grab the water. I'm not entirely sure I agree with that. I guess you probably don't need a switch card that badly. But I guess the water's good to have. No Tina in play is pretty rough if you're Hector, though. No Tina in play is pretty bad. You kind of need Tina in this matchup. This isn't like the Roaring Moon game. This is you definitely want to be seeing Tina. But we are going to be playing a VIP from hand for Grant, and then an Arven, which I'm assuming is Force Stone VIP. Yep, pretty basic Zard stuff going on here. It's going to be What's it gonna be? I'm assuming Charmander Jirachi is always kind of what you're looking for, but I do believe Grant is actually gonna go for Charmander. Being the idea here. God, I need some caffeine in my blood. Holy. Oh, this is interesting. Did he VIP for just single Charmander? Really? That is quite interesting on Grant's end here. Manaphy Jirachi from hand. Okay, yeah, so that's why. So that's completely fair. This Rotom is going to stick in the active. It's, of course, not going to use the ability because of the Spiritomb. So, yeah. Battle VIP Pass Lost Zoned for Hector. Jet in hand. It's fine. You probably manual retreat first, but I want to see the Colress. Get rid of Jet, that's fine. There's another Jet in there, and you have a Jet in hand, so last one's going to be Gate, and then it's Gate, Grass, Jet. Seems good to me. A lot of energy is in Hector's hand, though. It's kind of sketchy, but we're seeing the manual retreat. We're going to get rid of another VIP pass. And a switch in hand is pretty good, but a lot of energies here. We've already seen the manual retreat. We're gonna see a pass. Okay, so this is interesting. Hector's gonna choose not to attack with Cram, which let me pause to explain why this is actually really smart. The reason you're not attacking with Cram here, Hector, is because the Cram is useless, right? It's not gonna do anything. This Rotom will be Klawf Stadiumed or Turrowed or whatever, like later in the game. You cannot Sableye it because there is a Jirachi in play, right? Sableye will not work. So as Hector, you're kind of saying, hey, I don't want to. God, wow. I don't want to commit this. I don't want to commit this Cram. I want to save it. I want to leave it on my bench, right? Leave it to spit at a Charizard. Maybe spit at something on the bench, right? If you can play Escape Rope. Now, there is definitely an argument to be made for using the spitting here into this Rotom, namely, thought I'd sneeze. Mainly having the out to either boss or catcher later in the game, and then hitting him with Cram, or even just a Sableye the active works too, right? But it can really go either way, right? But I think Hector is going to choose to value having it for next turn into the Zard more. So I think this is the correct play on Hector's end, but there's definitely an argument to be made for both sides. So yeah, Grant is going to do Zard stuff, and that is going to that's going to be Candy Zard from hand, and I want to see what else is going on here. So Grant does have a Forest Seal Stone in hand that he has not yet played, so I'm assuming he does have a way to go Candy Pidgeot. Because if he didn't, he would have, of course, grabbed Pidgeot first. Or not. There's going to be a Yono off this Forest Seal Stone. Okay, so, yeah, Grant had the Candy and the Zard already in hand. Yeah, this is the correct line for Grant, for sure. Just guarantee the attack. There's a Pidgeot in hand. I do not see a Candy, however. So I believe we're going to see Ultra Ball for Charmeleon. That's probably the line for Grant here. Kind of debating what to get rid of. He's debating getting rid of the Pidgeot, but this is going to be, I believe that is a switch to Fire Energy. Arc kind of meh. I mean, I think Regigigas is really well positioned. It did well yesterday in day one. Makani, of course, being a 8-1 with Regigigas. So, yeah, Arc Regideck. Arc Regideck is a thing. Quickly going back here. Yeah, nothing special happening on Grant's side. He's just gonna knock out this Comfy, and Hector is going to draw for turn and play this Nest Ball, so I'm assuming this is going to be for the Tina. He does need the Tina. The nice thing about playing Tina into Zard is that you kind of control when they get to actually one-shot your Tinas, which is a big deal, right? So this Tina V is safe, right? Of course, Grant can boss it, but it won't actually knock out anything. Yeah. Switch cart, getting rid of. I think the path was the grab, which makes sense. And we're just gonna retreat into this cram here, attaching to the Tina, playing the path and playing the Aeon. Seems good to me. Yeah, seems really, really solid. It's not Chorus, but you have 7. That's the most important part. And you get to draw a fresh hand, which is definitely something Hector needed. I think there's a lot of energies in this hand. We're going to see Gate, Grass, Comfy, Chorus. Didn't catch the rest there, but yeah, it's going to be Water and Grass off of this Gate. Comfy from hand, and Spit. Okay, yeah, so, really, really good board spate from Hector. Yeah, we're going to see the Zard evolve from Grant, the attachment to it. Of course, no ability, and just hitting this Tina. So not a lot going on in Grant's hand. I think I saw Fire Energy, Lumen, and something else. Yeah, not a lot going on the hand for Grant, but he's still swinging. He's still hitting into the Zard is pretty important though. Lets you take more 2-price knockouts faster because you were not one-shot on Tina anytime soon. So this is good on Grant's end, but we're going to see a Chorus from Hector. This one looks pretty easy. There's a VIP pass and a mana fee. Yep. Oh, nothing to really be concerned about there. There's another pass. There's another path. There's a Grass Energy, which I would like to see go on bench, probably. Problem here, though, looks like, yeah, Hector does not have V-Star, so no V-Star there. Yeah, we're going to see Catcher up the other side. Okay, yeah, so this is really, really nice. This is going to mean that when Hector does actually see a V-Star, he does not have to use his own V-Star. He doesn't have to use his V-Star power, I should say, to knock stuff out. He's also only letting Grant hit for 180, which is really, really good. Yeah, kind of cram. I'm gonna spit here. Just energy from Grant, and doesn't seem like there's much. There's a top tick of a counter catcher, but of course nothing's happening with that. Yeah, now back over to Hector. This path is putting in a lot of work, it seems. Not sure. There's a fish, but there's a full bench and a Spiritomb. So the fish is not. The fish is like triple locked here. But we're gonna see. I believe that is Roxanne and Comfy off of this. Has to be the Comfy going away. Yeah, for sure. Debating the escape rope is gonna play it. I think you have to. It's rough, but it's what you have to do, right? Pidgey's gonna go to the active. Probably the correct playing grandson. VIP and a switch doesn't really change anything for Hector. Grass there, and just gonna be a pass over to Grant. So we have Candy and an Ultra Ball. Okay, so we are gonna establish just a Pidgeot, which is really, really nice. It's gonna be a retreat for Grant as the main thing, which means Grant is gonna go up 3 prize cards now, which is yeah, very, very, I mean, very, very good, obviously, right? It's gonna be quite the hill to climb for Hector. Why are you not in Portland, dude? Gaming stuff and like winning again. I'm not in Portland because it's expensive as hell to fly to Portland. Even from Chicago, it's expensive to fly to Portland. If I had known I'd be playing full time at the same time as I booked my trip to the U.S. for I'll pause this real quick. As I booked my trip to the U.S. for San Antonio, I would have stayed for Portland for sure. But by the time I realized that, like, hey, I kind of don't have anything else to do, right? Because obviously, if I would be working right now, it'd be a lot of time to take up work. But yeah, no. With like a month in advance, like $500 minimum round trip from Chicago to Portland, and then I'd also have to rebook my flight back to Denmark. So it's a whole thing. So yeah, just not justifiable, but I'll be at some NA events this season besides San Antonio, of course. So yeah, Grant is Grant just hit the Zard. We're gonna be switching back into Tina. We hit the Tina V-Star for Hector, and I believe there was a Roxanne. So you still have the path, but he's gonna choose to hold the Roxanne. that is interesting. I mean, I guess let's talk about this actually. Hector, I mean, well, no, Grant didn't really do anything last turn, right? He didn't really do anything. So if you're Hector, you kind of have no real reason to play this Roxanne. Um, and you are leaving more good cards in deck if you do get a Ionode. Of course, Roxanne is a great draw supporter for Hector at this point in the game. Um, so yeah, I guess one of the Roxanne is actually pretty good here. Again, your active Tina cannot be one-shot by a Zard, which is huge, right? But it's going to be a research from Grant. This is another thing, right? If Grant doesn't have boss, which he doesn't, right? He's going to be. What is he doing here? What can Grant do here? He can hit into this Tina, and then his Zard just gets immediately knocked out in return, right? I mean, it's a really really bad spot to be in. If you're Grant, so of course Catcher is not live because he's at 3 prize cards and Hector is at 4. So I mean, despite Grant getting 3 prize cards effectively for free, he's actually in a really bad spot. Because playing ahead versus Tina is just so difficult. There's so much they're doing here. We're gonna have to see a Charmander bench on Grant's end. It has to happen. He will lose otherwise. So he's gonna bench it. Yep. And we have the vacuum away the path, so he can use Quick Search this turn if he does want to. We're gonna play the Rod first. That's probably correct. Double Fire and probably trying to memorize what resource he has left. He's gonna grab a Zard. Seems fine to me. No, it's gonna be a Million. Okay, that's also fine, right? Assuming he does have a Zard left in deck, which I mean he should. He's down 2. He plays what 3. So yeah, he's gonna retreat Pidgeot into. It's gonna be the Manaphy. Manaphy is what he's considering here, which is a no. It's gonna be the Zard. Okay. I guess the idea here is you're trying to say you trying to force Hector to V-Star, because if you force Hector to V-Star, then if Grant sets up the last Zard here, he then wins, right? Because Hector won't be able to one-shot it. Of course, that's assuming Hector doesn't have Gust, of course, but and it's also assuming that Hector just can't use the Lost Impact here, right? If Hector can Lost Impact while also setting up both attackers to be able to V-Star next turn, then he will have Checkmate on board, essentially, right? So, yeah, we're going to have a fresh Tina V here as well, actually, which is super good. And we're going to play Nest Ball and fail. No, he's going to play the Nest Ball, never mind. Or he's going to fail it, okay. Sure. Benching Ninja and just play Roxanne. Okay, yeah, so this seems good. He did gate to the bench, which is an interesting choice. I do want to see him. I don't want to see V-Star from Hector here, but that's gonna is what it is. Actually, if you're Hector in this situation, and you use your main attack, your first attack, lost impact. That's what it's called. If you use lost impact here as Hector, is that bad? Well, because you go 3, you go 2 from active. You'd have you'd probably do like Psychic left on both of them, maybe. Because obviously you would have gone gate 1 to Tina on bench, 1 to Tina on active. There's a gate on the there's a grass in the prize card, so it'd have to be like Psychic. Get rid of Psychic. I don't know, right? Because like the problem here is that like now if Grant has boss, I guess. Well, okay. First and foremost, this is a tall order for Grant to even draw out of this. He has no Zard in play. He's under path. He just got Roxanne, right? Realistically, this won't matter. I'm just all thinking in like hypotheticals, and even then, right? If Hector has like boss V-Star, which I do believe I just saw in his hand, then he wins regardless. So because he can just kill the Pidgeot. or really just nitpicking here. Hector is an amazing spot regardless, but Grant is going to play the Iona, which is going to be putting Hector in a less than amazing spot. And Grant is going to, what does he have here? He has Nest Ball Velocity Boss. No. He has Candy Velocity Boss. No Nest Ball. There's no Nest Ball there. Okay, so Grant's going to make a really, really good play here. He's going to show off some top player status here. He's going to identify the fact that he cannot leave. First of all, he cannot leave a two players in the active, and B, he cannot leave a not Charizard card in the active because he only has 2 energy left in the deck, right? His answer to this is going to be to leave a Charmander in the active, right? Because it has to be he has to be able to have it knocked out, right? Because Hector will never go for a Hector will never knock out a one prizer here. There's just simply no reason for him to. It's way too high of an energy commitment, especially now that he can't cram. What Grant here is going to do is he's going to play this Lost City, right, to bump the path. Then he is going to grab Charmander. And he's going to retreat into the Charmander, right? This might seem like a small whatever, right? But this is a micro decision that a lot of players would miss. A lot of players would miss this. A lot of players would either go into the Charmeleon, or a lot of players would go into the Manaphy, right? But Grant is going to identify that Charmander is his only win condition here, actually. Effectively here, this Charmander promotion is his only win condition, and he's going to play to it, which is smart. It's good. It's a good play. But we got Jet Water in Hector's hand, and we're going to see Jet Psychic. What's the last card? Is that second? Is that another Roxanne? Is that? Yeah, it's Roxanne. So this is actually quite interesting. The real question for Hector is how you use your Jet energy. Yeah, and Jet to Comfy seems correct to me, for sure. Jet to Comfy seems really, really good. And just Roxanne before you use flower selecting, of course, proper sequencing. Good stuff from Hector. Yeah, trying to put Grant on the back foot again. Of course, not knowing what Grant had in hand, but not let him play with anything for too long. We're going to see V-Star. We're going to see Path. And we're going to see a flower selecting. You're probably getting rid of, there's a Rod and there's something else. It's Colress. Yeah, you do not need the Colress. You do not need the Colress in this part of the game. You want to be bossing. And we're going to see Pass. So Pass is good for Hector. He has no point. There's no point in Hector one-shotting this Charmander. But Grant is going to be in quite the tough spot because he has the Charizard, right? So he does get rewarded for this Charmander play. He got rewarded for proper play. The problem is that he has the Vacuum. He has the Zard. He has to vacuum, to get rid of the path to find the candy to Zard, right? Because he has the Zard, period. And then if Hector doesn't have boss and energy, then Grant will win, right? But he has to get rid of the catcher to do this. Yeah, getting rid of the catcher is kind of rough. Of course, Hector is at 2, so Hector would have to take a prize card next turn for the catcher to have effect, but it's still rough to have to do it. And once again, we're going to see Grant doing some good play, some stuff that, it seems minor and is minor, but a lot of players wouldn't do. He's going to grab the Arven instead of just grabbing the candy. This is going to thin 2 cards from the deck instead of just grabbing the candy. Of course, Hector's just going to show that he has it, right? But Grant's thinning 2 cards, thinning the Arven out, is thinning the Vitality Band out. Which, is correct. It's correct sequencing on Grant's end, but you'd be surprised by how many people don't know this. So, proper sequencing, very important. Learn from the best, right? Thinning is winning. Never forget. Keep that saying in the back of your head at all times. But Hector had Jet Energy Boss, so it doesn't matter. And, yeah, what are we going to see here? So, Hector has a dead hand, and he's going to scoop. Yep. Okay. Cool. So let's see. I think he reveals that he just picked up his prize cards. His hand is completely dead. There was not a single playable card in that hand. And game 3. So how much time was left? Actually, there was 26 minutes left. So they played a they played a 25-minute game 1 or 24. I guess 24-minute game 1. And then just said okay, game 3. which is correct. This correct of Hector to do. I would probably have seen like one more turn if it be me. I'd probably like just make sure Grant like gets to play the game, right? Obviously Grant started Rotom, so he's drawing cards, right? But I want to see Grant like bench a Charmander, right? Because I can still top that Chorus next turn, right? Even my turn one hand is draw pass, right? I can still top the Chorus. So I would probably see like one more turn of Hector. But scooping early here is definitely correct, right? When you scoop is debatable, but the early scoop is super correct here on Hector's end because he of course wants to finish the game. There's no point in the tie, and if your hand is draw pass, you're not winning that game, right? So good on Hector to identify that. Yeah, very smart play on him. Of course, both these players are super talented. I know this from first-hand experience. They have both beaten me several times at Chicago locals, right? But yeah, nothing special in Grant and Hector's prices. Besides double VIP, it's kind of rough early. Maybe some dead cards to see off the prize card later. Double Arvin, maybe kind of rough for Grant because his hand is bad, but besides that, it's kind of not the end of the world. Hector is going to choose that Grant goes first, and he's going to start the Spiritomb. That's rough if you're Grant. This Rotom is just not going to do anything for Grant. And I mean, with double Arvin prize, I mean, there's a very real chance that there's just nothing for next turn in Grant's hand. So maybe he would be relying on that Rotom, but we are going to see the Spiritomb start. So no Rotom for you, Grant. No fish either. But we're gonna see VIP for Charmander Pidgey. Good old reliable, right? And yeah. What now? What are we seeing now? I think that's just a pass from Grant. Yeah. So draw for turn. There we go. There's Tina. I don't think there's a lot going on in Hector's hand either. I think we're gonna see Switch Cart and yeah, Abyss Seeking. Oh, there's the path. And the AO. Okay. This is not the end of the world if you're Hector. You're still putting cards in Lost Zone. You're still pathing Grant here. I'm taking a glance at Grant's hand real quick. I don't think there's a lot there, but we'll get to that. Great board, however, for Hector. So I guess to Abyss Seeking. A lot of good cards there. I don't think he wants to get rid of that many of those. There's going to be a Tina V-Star hitting the Lost Zone, which is bad. And Radiant Greninja, also pretty bad. But on Grant's end over here, I see Manaphy Jirachi, Fire, Candy, Force Seal. Yeah, nothing. Vacuum, but like Vacuum doesn't matter if he doesn't have anything with an ability anyway. So Grant is going to Heat Tackle for 30 into this Giratina, which the math can matter. It's not impossible. The math could matter, but definitely not what Grant wanted to do. We're going to see a Nest Ball for Comfy over on Hector's turn now. Jet into Comfy. Flower Selecting, probably trying to hit 4. There is a Chorus. Getting rid of the Gate is unfortunate, but it's not the end of the world here. A lot of good cards again over in Hector's time. We're going to see a second Cram getting rid of, and the second Energy. Of course, there's another Tina and another Chorus, so got to keep those. Evolving the Tina V is correct, and we're going to spit. Yeah, Grant's not having a good time here. He's going to top deck what's an Artisan? Like, a card that doesn't get him anything? I mean, you got second Charmander is good. You're calling for family here, though. You probably do keep the path in play. No reason to use the Artisan. If you're going to use the Call for Family. No, he's going to use it anyway. I mean, I guess this is fair, right? You just fill up your bench with an extra Mon. If we do see another path from Hector, Grant does have the Lost Vacuum, so it's not the end of the world. But we're going to see the Rotom off the Call for Family here because of the 4 Seal Stones. This is actually, yeah, it's pretty good on Grant's end to use the Artisan, right? It's going to let you get both 2 Pidgey and 2 Charmander and the Rotom, right? Being the big grabs. But Chorus, once again, on Hector's side, I see double path. He's going to choose to keep both path, which is interesting, but I think it's correct because path is obviously such a good card into Zard. Yeah, we're going to see the Mirage Gate coming down, and I'm assuming just another spit, just trying to further, yeah, Hector's just trying to like further his lead, right? Kind of put even more pressure on Grant, um, which is good, right? Establishing two Tinas before Grant gets to one shot anything is a big deal. But we're gonna see this Force Seal Stone. I'm assuming for an Arvin. I'd have to imagine. Of course, the tool card doesn't really do much anymore. The question is, does Grant even like have anything? Okay, there's Rare Candy Pidgeot for Zard for okay, so he has double candy. Okay, so Grant is playing Pokemon. Very, very, very important. Big problem here though. He has a 0 card hand, and he's absolutely going to get V-Star here. He's going to get V-Star here, and there's no way he doesn't know that. Yeah, no 0 card hand. He has to hit this this bird. He has to hit the cram. There's a real argument made for just passing if you're Grant. He's even going to consider it right now. I'm not entirely sold on the fact that that's correct, but yeah, he's going to attack. But there's definitely an argument to be made for just passing with a Giratina the active or something. But flower selecting, I believe that is Gate, and what was the last card there? I'm not sure. It's going to be Rod. Yeah, Gate goes to hand. It seems fine. There's the Jet. This is going to put Hector at 10. And of course, Hector now just gets to go. There should be another path in his hand, if I'm not mistaken. So we're going to see Gates being played. Establish the second Tina. Yeah, so it's a really, really good board. No grass for it is unfortunate, but double psychic is still very, very powerful. And there's a path, right? Just and just blow up the Zard. I mean, there's nothing Grant can do here. Surely 0 card hand. No, he has to one off the prize cards, one off the top deck. It has to be perfect. It is not perfect, and I believe we're gonna see the scoop. Yeah, no, boss. Okay. Oh, there we go. Yeah, boss 2, easy. Yeah. So great play on Hector's play. I mean, both players played phenomenally here. Honestly, no real complaints on my end on any side. Not a lot of stuff Grant could have done, really at all. Credit goes to Hector for the early scoop, of course. In game 2, I think it was correct. I think I'd have seen like another turn at least, just like one more turn. But yeah, it's still a good play from both sides. I would expect nothing less of these players. They are both very, very, very good. And I'm a first-hand witness of that. So yeah, we're gonna cut to a quick break, like a 5-minute break. Let me go to the bathroom and whatnot, and then we'll be back with the last 2 rounds of day 1 of Portland. So I will see you guys in just a second. Alright, we're back. We are back. 2 more rounds. We've got Roaring Moon versus Klawf here. This is going to be an experience. Okay, so I have no idea how this matchup goes, first of all. I can imagine it's good for Klawf. I think it would make sense if it's good for Klawf. But I frankly, I have no idea. I would never bring either of these decks to regionals. So the fact that they're on stream in round 8 is definitely saying something. But you know, yeah, we are seeing some Klawf. But yeah, I'd imagine this matchup is good for James. That is my expectation here. But we'll see what we've got. I also believe, if I'm not mistaken, that Benny is on the variant of the deck that Azul popularized with the Iron Hands and the Thornton and the Water Energies for the Greninja as well. So a somewhat recent adaptation of the deck. Yeah, nah, my problem with Klawf is that a competent Zard player beats you every time. And that's a really, really bad sign in this matchup. And it has consistency problems. I love gimmicky one prize decks. Okay, they're like my go-to, but yeah, you know, hit Pokemon stream. All right, bet. But yeah, anyway, we are going to win this game. No real special prize cards on the other side. I guess the Squawk being priced for Benny is pretty bad, especially if he gets to go second tier, which is what he wants to do, right? But yeah, let's see what we got here. So it is going to be Benny going first, it seems. Okay, Heavy Ball, that's going to be an immediate Squawk grab. There's like another thing though, like 3 energy in the prize cards for Benny is potentially quite rough. It doesn't have to be the end of the world, but it's certainly not great, right? Yeah. Every deck does have bad matchups, this is true, but if your bad matchup is Zard, I got some bad news for you. No, I mean, Klawf can win games. I mean, James is right here in front of us. So, yeah, we're going to see the Iron Hands and the Lightning come down, and the Squawk. Okay, so this is good. I like this on Benny's side. There's a Roaring Moon in hand. I feel like we always bench it, but Benny doesn't think so, which is fair. So my problem with not benching this Roaring Moon is that you're always trying to use Sada regardless, and what's it called? What's it called? My words are not wording right now. You're always trying to Sada, which means you need 2 ancient Pokemon, which means that you need 2 Roaring Moon because it's your only ancient Pokemon, right? So you're going to want to, bench 2 Roaring Moon anyway. There's no reason to be discarding this one. You're late to class, Alex. You know what? That's fine. It's a good thing that this class is recorded. Yeah. So you can catch up on the parts of the lesson you missed. But yeah, I mean, regardless though, this Iron Hand bench is good for Benny. Obviously gets one shot by the Klawf, but it does also one shot the Klawf back and is able to swing the price trade, which is something that Benny will need. So yeah, but no, not every deck loses Zard though. I will say though, not every deck loses Zard. There are a couple that beat Zard, including the one I won a regionals with. That deck does beat Zard. We're seeing a Radiant Greninja come down and a Mew, and we have a VIP Forest Steelstone Moltres Ultra Ball in hand. So when we see a VIP pass, I'm really hoping this is Roaring Moon. I guess the idea on Benny's end would be to like thin the Roaring Moon, right? But he's not going to grab anything off this VIP pass, which is very questionable to me. I'm assuming Energy Switch and Thornton are a big part of Benny's game plan. So I can't really imagine why you wouldn't want to have 2 ancient Pokemon in play. Which if he plays like Brute Bonnet, then fine. But like I can't imagine he does. We're gonna see a couple of Trekking Shoes though. It's gonna fill up his hand with some pretty good cards here. Double Nest Ball off of the Greninja isn't great, but yeah, just gonna be Ultra Ball Father, and he's just gonna get rid of it. Okay, fair enough. Jono, you need to stop talking. Yeah. I honestly, I kind of disagree with this Ultra Ball here. I think you're getting rid of quite a lot of resources. You might not need those Nest Balls this turn, but you will certainly you will certainly need them later in the game, right? Uh, yeah, this I think Klawf should be favored. I have never watched this matchup be played before. I think very few people have, but um, I would assume that yeah, I would assume that is this Klawf favored. Yeah, so let's see what we see here. I guess the argument to be made for leaving space for the Moltres is the Force Steel Stone, but I think Ultra Ball here to thin is bad. I don't know what you're thinning for in the first place, right? I mean, what do you want? But second of all, um, you might not need Nest Balls this turn, but you will need them later. And getting rid of Nest plus Ultra just like that is really really bad. It's a lot of resources to just lose out on. Not that Moltres is bad here. You do definitely want Moltres. It's of course really really good for Fortin. But we're gonna see the restart. It's going to be Ultra, I think Pokestop, and a Switch card, which is good. Please do not play that Ultra Ball. Okay. Switch card is going to just fine here. Yeah, I don't hate this, and we're just going to pass. Okay. Definitely some things out of change, but definitely not a bad turn for Benny by any means. He has a full board. Can't really complain too much, but we're going to see DT's Klawf, bench Electrode. James would, of course, love to take this Greninja off the board. It's not going to afford the prize trade because Benny, of course, will just never bench another one prizer. But getting the Greninja off the board is very, very helpful since it is quite a good engine card for Benny. Let's see, Ultra Ball from James. It's going to be Rope and DTE. So that's quite the impactful resources we're getting rid of here. I'm very curious to see what's left in James' hand. I know I saw a spicy curry there, but I don't really know what else is in there. I really really like the rope play. Like if James gets to rope this turn, that feels amazing as far as I'm concerned. Because you kind of want to be taking prize cards. So even if you're just hitting a two prizer, right? I mean, what two prizer can't you potentially kill on this board, right? If you're grabbing the Squawk anyway, you have the curry in hand, then yeah, the only thing that wouldn't be able to be knocked out by the Electrode the Iron Hands, but then you have the Klawf, which means if you find retreat, you can knock it out. So I'm very curious as to see why we're not playing this escape rope, but I guess we'll find out in just a second. It might just be a misplay, but we'll see. We'll see what happens here. As James keeps shuffling. All right, Town Store. Oh, okay, so Town Store comes down, Spicy Curry is played, and Squawk happens. Okay, so the discard instead of the rope would have always had to been the. I guess it's the Town Store. That feels sketch though. It's the mic. Oh, I can. Oh, sorry, I'm looking at the mic. Here we go. I should just probably put it close to my mouth, or I could turn it up. Is this better? This should probably be a bit better. Let's try that for now. It's too loud. I'll turn it down. But yeah. I'm not really sure if I'd. I don't know. I just really like the rope play here. I think a rope gives you so much merit. It lets you lead this prize trade. Of course, knocking out one prize isn't the end of the world if you're leaving a one prize in the active. The problem is that Iron Hands is a card that exists and is on the bench. So, yeah, I don't really know if I like this from James. I do see why though. Of course, like having the curry in the Town Store is very very good. If James does play two rope, I don't know how many rope James plays. I don't know how many rope is common. But if James plays multiple ropes, then this is probably actually correct on James' end, just because worst case you can force Steel Stone for the rope, right? So let's continue watching this. I'll stop ranting about the rope. We see a Sneasler and a VIP. VIP is great. That's going to be, I'm assuming, Brute Bonnet Klawf or Brute Bonnet Bidoof works too. Yeah, Brute Bonnet Bidoof is a good grab here. Seems correct to me. I'm not sure you ever really want to bench this Sneasler. I don't think it matters too much in this matchup, but we're going to see the Town Store. for Seal Stone. Okay. Yep, and you're gonna use it, or no, you're not gonna use it. Okay. Interesting. Okay. So we're not using the Forest Seal Stone. I guess we're just attacking with Klawf this turn, right? Oh, we're playing Boss in the Iron Hands. Oh, that's so cool. Okay. Yeah. So no, I totally forgot that James had not used a supporter. Okay, yeah. So this makes sense. This is definitely better. You don't play the rope. You hold the town store, so you actually just have it, right? Because if you don't squawk into the boss, you have town store for system for boss. Yeah. So James is absolutely correct in the play they made here. I just don't really know the deck as much as I probably should. So yeah, this is a great start for James. Obviously, you know, it's not like well, it doesn't even that flashy, really. Yeah, no booster, but he has booster now, or they have booster now. Town store as well can get booster if needed. So, what is Benny gonna do here? Obviously, this is not exactly optimal for Benny. Benny isn't really in that great of a position. If you're Benny here, how are you responding to this Klawf? Because I really, I mean, as Roaring Moon, you just want to be going 2-2-2, and ever not going 2-2-2 just feels so bad. But you kind of can't ignore this Klawf because it is doing, I mean, a sizable amount of damage. So, when you see the Town Store, it's not great, but you are getting a Nest Ball, which I guess isn't the end of the world. You already had the Ultra Ball though, so doesn't actually solve anything. It's just going to be Nest Ball, Ultra Ball, Energy Switch in the hand. We're going to see a Nest Ball for a second Moon. Okay. So that is nice to have that as Benny. So I'm assuming we're going to see an Energy Switch played to a Moon from the Moltres into a Restart for 2 is what I'd like to see here from Benny. Yeah, you get rid of that. Play the Energy Switch, right? No, we're not playing Energy Switch? Okay, that's sketchy. I guess you're trying to say, like, you just need an energy, I guess, is the idea. But if you're not playing the Energy Switch, then you should never be Nest Balling, you should be playing the Ultra Ball instead. Just getting rid of the Energy Switch. Because then you draw 3, right, instead of drawing 1. So you're kind of on this, as Benny, you're kind of limboing here. Not really committing to either play. You're not committing to the Energy Switch, but you're also trying to hold the Energy Switch, and Benny is kind of getting punished for that as he's just drawing 1 card off of this Mew, which, I mean, could have been a lot better. Rope is not really achieving anything as Benny isn't attacking, so yeah, I guess Benny does have the Force Stone, but obviously, you kind of don't want to use that, especially since it's just going to be for Earth and Vessel. Depending on what could have been hit off of this Mew, oh, okay, never mind. Benny's just gonna scoop. Okay, I think that's correct, by the way, because obviously the Electrode is just gonna kill, and then Benny loses. But if if Benny had seen more cards, Benny could have like Sada'd and done a bunch of stuff. Obviously, it's not a great spot regardless. If you're hitting with, I mean, all of your attackers are gonna die to the Electrode, so it's rough. But regardless, James is going to go up a game after a great turn 1. Really well executed on James' part. I got hung up on that rope for no reason when it's quite obvious that just guaranteeing the boss play, knocking out the Iron Hands is really, really powerful. Yeah, we're going to go into game 2 here. That's a replay I'm going to have to worry about. So what do we got here? Double Spicy Curry in the prize cards is rough. Grant is pretty interesting. I'm not entirely sure what the Grant is for or how common it is, but it seems interesting to me. Double Energy, Solid Dark Patch, Heavy Ball, not the end of the world for Benny. Yeah, the only thing that's worth keeping an eye on here to me is the Spicy Curries, and then I'm not sure how many rods Klawf typically runs, but yeah, definitely. Like, if it's only like 1 or 2, then this could be rough, but I think I'd be more worried about the Spice Curries. But yeah, Benny is going to go first. Okay, I'm gonna need to pause here. Benny lost game one, which means Benny picks who's going for second, and Benny is um, choosing to go first. I don't know why we're choosing to go first, especially against Klawf. Like um, especially against Klawf. Surely against Klawf. Like I mean, obviously Roman always wants to go second, but like this is like even more. You always go second, because you need to turn one attack. You need to start the race. Um, no, I mean I see why Grant is cool, right? I'm just wondering if it helps with like specific math, right? Is more so. The card is super cool. Don't get me wrong, but um, there's like specific thresholds it helps you hit. I'm not really sure. I really don't know that much about cloth lists. I probably should do some research into that. But yeah, Benny, I really don't know why he's choosing to go first here. It seems like a misplay to me. Hand's kind of mid, but at least there's a VIP pass. I'm assuming you're getting. I'd really like to see. I guess Greninja Squawk's fine, but I'd really rather see Greninja Roaring Moon. If you go Greninja Roaring Moon, you go Greninja, get rid of Dark, draw two, then you get to use the Dark Patch in your hand. Um, like, yeah, you're not squawking, but you're having a minimum of two Greninjas being used. But it's going to be the Squawk. They're considering it. Nope, it's going to be a Squawk. And it's going to be a Squawk Moon? No. Squawk Hands? Why? Do we have lightning in hand? If we have lightning in hand, it's justifiable. If we don't have lightning in hand, this should never be happening. We do not have lightning in hand. I mean, we're not attaching. Okay. I don't. I don't know that I like this. Honestly, I mean, I guess it's not terrible for Benny. Like it's not bad, but I don't know. I would much rather like guarantee two energies. Like, yeah, I mean, I understand the idea. If you're Benny, you're trying to commit to this Iron Hands, like trying to say like, hey, I need to hands next turn, and kind of committing to that line, which I mean isn't entirely bad. Like I understand the idea, but I don't. Yeah, you kind of have to gamble, I guess. I do still think though that like three energy being squawked away, you should attach one of them because you're never going to need more than two in the discard pile for this turn. Especially again, you're going first, right? So I guess the idea for Bendy going first here is you go first, you have turn two Iron Hands, but I still think it's way too greedy. I think you're more likely to win if you just play your game normally, right? Let James whiff a turn. They're playing Klawf. It's not exactly known as the most consistent deck, so yeah. Well, I would love to see Motivate here. The problem is that it's turn one going first, so there is no Motivate and there is no Sada. On Benny's side, it's just not an option. So we're gonna see VIP for just Greninja into second VIP for. I really hope it's. Well, single moon is fine. Oh, VIP whiff. Okay, but he has moon Moltres in hand. So again, I really wish we were benching double moon here. Get more value out of our Sada. Um, but yeah. Um, I'm not. I mean, these aren't like terrible plays necessarily on Benny's end, but I definitely find them a bit disagreeable. Uh, we're going to use Restart to be four concealed cards, which I don't think is terrible. Pokestop is pretty good. I don't think you're ever giving Pokestop to James, though. Seems bad to me. I think that's... Nope, there is the Pokestop. Boss Nest Ball in hand for Benny isn't bad. Thornton discard is really bad, but... yeah. One of Moltres and Energy. A Dark Patch to Moon. That's fine. I actually don't hate premature energy switch. Yes, you're more vulnerable to boss, but you're protecting yourself from hand disruption. So it's just going to be going into this Greninja and passing for Benny. I still don't think we should be going first, but it's besides the point. James is going to hit the Pokestop and immediately find a Battle of AP Pass, so Benny gets punished. Good. Yeah. Let's see Battle of AP Pass. I have Klawf and I'm assuming Electrode is probably the grab. Kind of activate your 4 Steel Stones. Yeah, it's going to be those two. What else we got in here? I see a DTE, I see a Rope. Awesome. That is exactly what you want to be seeing here. I believe that's a... Is that a boost energy as well? Ooh, that is really good. This is a good hand of your James. And you still have access to Squawk? Maybe it's too good, actually. Maybe that is the problem. Yeah, maybe this is actually kind of bad for James. There's a lot of good cards in James' hand, but we're gonna see. Okay. So I think there's booster in hand, and there is also a town store. So you're applying this rope now to force Benny to make a choice without having all the information. But there's gonna be 4 Steel Stone, awesome, booster, DCE. Town store, maybe, yes. I mean, you don't need anything from the town store, but I still think you play it. I guess you're trying not to give Benny 4 Steelstone. So that's fair enough. And then we're squawking here. Yeah. Seems good to me. VIP and another VIP, I guess. I'd like to see Electrode Bidoof, preferably. Now James just gets to play this 2-2-2 game. And there's nothing Benny can do about it because Benny's deck only like exclusively goes 2-2-2. But we're just gonna see the Electrode on James, and I don't like to see him Bidoof there. I might have been priced, I just forgot about it, or it might be in hand. I was gonna be Sneasler. Okay, do we need Sneasler? Not with weakness, right? Oh no, it's because we don't have yeah, it's because we don't have the Curry. Okay, yeah. So you're either 4 Steel Stoning for Curry or you're benching Sneasler. So Sneasler's correct there. Okay, yeah, so this makes sense. You don't have Bidoof, which is rough, but you're also not expecting to get hand disrupted against Roaring Moon. So this is fine on James' end. We're going to whiff first Nest Ball, play second Nest Ball, so I guess we're trying to restart here. Although, you know, I really... Sada we're playing here. Restart for 1 first. Again, I would have loved to see the energy switch come down. I think energy switch should have been played there. Like, you have to commit to a play. The half-assing this stuff is just going to lead to like worse odds. Double Pokestop trapped in Benny's hand. We're going to see switch card with the energy. We're going to get rid of the water. And we have double energy switch, and we have the triple energy switch and an energy. Okay, so we can Iron Hands. Not that there's anything you want to Iron Hands to be active right now. But it's a nice option to have. You have the resource to do it for sure now. You have attached return. I think it's going to be attached to Moltres here. I think I disagree with this. I think I'd rather be attacked with the Moon. This not only takes the Pokestop out of the equation, it doesn't give James access to it, but also leaves Moltres on the board, so you have something to use your energy switches on next turn. Now you have 3 energy switches in hand, which aren't doing anything. So I'm not sure I like this. Yeah, and it's a guaranteed knockout on James's side of the field, regardless, because the Electrode plus Sneasler plus Root Bonnet is a guaranteed knockout on this Moltres. So you don't actually need this Sneasler at all because of the -30 that Moltres takes. So we're going to see Bidoof now, finally. I think at this point in the game, Bidoof doesn't matter, but I guess it's good for Dick next turn. Play the Town Store, probably getting like Charm or Force Steel. Oh, right, because Force Steel was not used last turn, so you get a second Force Steel Stone for your Electrode. And we know that James has a Boss in hand, so I'm assuming we're going to see Boss Iron Hands here, which is just all all but Spell Doom for Benny. Yeah, so this matchup is looking very one-sided. Is what I'm taking away from this. But yeah, it's just gonna be another Klawf, and I don't know what to do here as Benny. The problem here is that everything gets one shot by this Electrode. If you can gust the Electrode, knock out the Electrode with, I guess it'd have to be Roaring Moon, then you have an out. The out is James whiffing the Electrode next turn, but it is it's quite the stretch, honestly. I wouldn't have hated to see James go Force System for Electrode, because the thing is, if Benny plays like Iono, Benny won't be able to Iono and Gust. We haven't seen a cross switcher played by Benny yet. I haven't seen one in his hand either. I think it's not unfair for James to assume there's cross switchers in the deck, but I don't think you ever assume cross switcher and Iono. So that kid plays cross switcher, it doesn't play hand disruption, right? So I actually really like to have seen Force System for Electrode kind of have like checkmate in hand. Because of course Electrode one-shots everything at this point in the game. So yeah, Boone is bad into anything with one prize attackers. Sawyer Hate Mail. Who's that? Never heard of that Sawyer guy. Oh my god, who's Sawyer? Ew. Reminds me of that smelly guy that was on stream earlier that we reviewed. Anyway, we're gonna see a Pokestop. Boss being gone is bad. Double Ultra solves nothing. I don't see how Benny wins here. It's looking rough. It's looking real rough for Benny. I guess like getting Thornton back is kind of cool, maybe. Yeah. Hey Sawyer, it's free coaching. You need that, right? You need free coaching? Oh god, no. We're gonna see the Palpet back with the boss. Concealed. We have to knock out this Electrode for Benny. It's the only win condition, but looks like there's nothing. James just... I got jump scared by that shit. Okay, James. Alright. Wave to the camera. No, the VOD is posted. I already watched it. The VOD of me reviewing you? Yeah, that's not posted yet. You're gonna have to wait on that one. It's like a Christmas present when you get home. Alright. Yeah, there's still, I mean, there's triple energy switch, but I mean, there's nothing, doesn't matter. There's nothing energy switch to. Again, if you're not knocking out this Electrode, the game ends. Period. End of story. Especially because there's a Force Sealstone on it. Now it's just retreat, right? You literally just go retreat. Well, I guess if Klawf has 3 in retreat. But Escape Rope works. Escape Rope is also game. Boss works too. You just have to retreat the Klawf. I don't remember what the retreat cost on Klawf is, but I think the poison actually kills. Okay, never mind. Because there's already damage on the wall trace. Okay, yeah. Sick. All right, good shit on James end. Yeah, clean play. Definitely a couple things I would love to see different from Benny, but I mean the matchup is just so bad for Benny regardless that like you're kind of always preying on James's downfall one way or another. Yeah. Okay, last game of the day. What were your player to watch this again? Okay, that's fair. I'm just curious about this stuff. And we're gonna see some Azul, Gracia, Griego, everyone's favorite, right? Actually, like Azul. Azul's chill. Summer guy with a podcast. Okay, production's having fun. I can respect that. Yeah, round 9's always Azul. They can't not stream Azul. If Azul is at a streamable score, they have to stream him because the community vote exists. I understand why Azul's popular. I won't give people shit for that. Azul's chill. I don't really know Azul that well. We've spoken like twice, I think, but he seems chill. Anyway, Guardian on the left, played by Cadon. Cadon? I'm gonna pronounce it Caden. That's probably incorrect, but it's That's the only thing. That's the only way I know how to pronounce it. So we're gonna go with Caden. I'm sorry if you are hearing this and having to listen to me. I guess Caden's just a different name, probably. It's like Kadon. Kadon. There's an O there. I'm going with Caden. Yeah, Caden and Azul. Caden on the left playing Guardy. Azul playing Zard. Titan tested Zard. Just won a regional with it. Can't go wrong with Lock in the same deck. Players are at 5-1-2, which is notable. Means that if they win, they are going in at 20 match points. But yeah, we're gonna see Caden going first here. Playing VIP pass, playing Guardy, doing Guardy stuff. I am not a fan of Guardy in this format. I've made that very clear. I think Guardy is straight up bad. I just don't think the deck is good. I think there's too many bad matchups with the deck. Zard is among your better matchups, but even then, Lost City is a card that exists. I just don't respect Guardy, being honest. But Caden sure does, or at least Guardy respects him, because that is a double VIP pass on turn 1. I could never. We're going to see the Deoxys coming down here. So Deoxys, I think, is really good. I think Deoxys is really, really good in Gardevoir. I think it's a must play for the deck. I'm not really sure, though, that it's for this matchup. I don't think it's necessarily bad in this matchup, but I don't think as Caden, you're really looking to... I really don't think you're looking to be putting 2 prizes into play this early in the game, especially. But we're going to go with this Mew here. Seems solid. Right. Gonna grab a level ball, it seems. I think it's level ball or Raj, so level ball is definitely the grab there. No questions asked. Kind of debating on whether or not to play it, but I think we're gonna hold it probably for a Curlia next turn, which seems reasonable to me, right? Yeah, and Azul is gonna go. So that looks terrible. Cool. Heat tackle. Yeah, okay. Stick invite, cool. Okay, well, if you're Gaten, you're probably chilling, probably very happy about sitting across from one of the best players in the world and them going effectively draw pass. I mean, the 30 on the Mew can matter for pivots, but I would be surprised if it made a huge difference. So, yeah. Energy to Deoxys. Because Deoxys is a good way to make the knockout here. And Iono. Okay, so this Iono is actually kind of ballsy on Caden's part. You're really digging for this this donk here. Where I think I would have rather seen the refinement first. Right? Because like if you whiff here, you give Azul an actual hand to play with. Yeah, I can tell this is a bad start. This is definitely not a good start. If you're Azul. We're going to see the refinement here. No candy. And I don't even think we have an out to Curlia. This is pretty rough. Nope, there's a Mew. So Mew into candy would probably be game, but I don't see it. I see VIP. That's not great. Yeah, VIP or catch or vacuum. It's not optimal. That's not great. Yeah, VIP. So it's gonna be a whiff on Caden's end. I think we're gonna use a pass here. And now Caden's kind of getting a bit punished for this Iono. Got a bit greedy, right? Because now Azul gets to play Pokemon, right? And Azul is pretty good at Pokemon. I don't know if you guys knew this. Azul's pretty good at the Pokemon trading card game. So I would personally like to avoid letting Azul play Pokemon when I'm at the other side of the table. Pro tip right there. But jokes aside, though, that is a switch in Azul's hand. That's interesting. Very interesting. We're gonna see a level ball here. I'm expecting this to be for Pidgey. But it's probably gonna be a prize check on Azul's end. I don't remember if we prize checked, but I don't think there was anything super notable there. But we're gonna see level ball being played. We're gonna see ultra ball being played. Getting rid of what was that? Switch and vacuum. And then we're going to see Candy Sard. Okay, so Azul is playing Pokemon. He is attacking. Benching double Charmander. That is not Pidgey. And yeah, no supporter on Soul's End. I could have sworn I had I could have sworn we saw a. Was there an Arven in his hand? Oh, he played the Arven. Okay, yeah, he played Arven. Okay, cool. Which means there should be a tool in his hand. Oh, I'm skipping Caden's turn. Okay, so Caden's gonna promote the Ox and he's gonna draft her. Okay. Yeah. So the Ox's promotion is interesting, but what's the refinement away VIP and then Ultra from assuming Curlia because there's a lot of Guardies that they had. Chooses to get rid of the catcher and grabs the Oxus. So seems reasonable to me. Seems smart. Yeah, there's the Guardy. So I'm gonna need a refresh on what the Oxus V-Star does. I'm sure the stream will give it to me in a second, or not. Is that too tall an ask? Fine, I'll pull it up myself. God, Limitless. I do not remember the text on the Oxus. I know it's good into what's its face? Iron Hands. Okay. 6 reach energy. Okay. Well, it's still Dark Week. It's still Dark Week 2 price for. So I really cannot imagine that this is actually good for Azul, right? Not for Azul, for Caden. I don't know why Caden's attacking with this thing, or even using it in the matchup. It gets instant one shot. The V-Star power doesn't actually help him because Azul is going to play around it, right? And 90-60 to a V. There's no V on Azul's bench, so I do not know why we ever saw the Oxus at the board. Yeah, that seems really really bad. I'll sure agree with that. Yeah. Yeah. I disagree a lot with Caden's play here. You're giving Azul way too many free prize cards. I guess like if you really want to be like really meta about it, right? Like I guess you're trying to like force Azul down to low cards here. For like forcing Azul to take a bunch of prize cards and then Ionoing, but the Oxus does not seem like the best way to do that. I feel like the reason Gardevoir is favored here. Oh no, it's for okay. Never mind. Yeah, it's for all of them. Okay, all the energies. So yeah, we're still getting the knockout. Okay, never mind. It's 4 energies on this Deoxys, but the problem is if Azul plays Pokemon here, right? Again, the thing we said was bad for Cameron, not Cameron, Caden, is yeah, this Zard is attacking. There is a Zard now. I guess you didn't go like what? You go reversal because Azul goes to 3. Yeah, and you still have 4 Stone, which is really really good. I'm really not convinced that trading 2 for 2 against Zard is good though. So Guardy here for Caden. I'm spacing the hell out. I should stop with that. Yeah, so it's gonna have to be reversal play, which you can do. You go down to 2. Azul's at 3. So I guess maybe like because Azul took an early prize, Caden gets to play from behind without actually playing from behind this entire game. There's a fish in play. Azul is forced to bench the fish. So I guess the Deoxys is fine. It's risky though. It's risky, right? Because you're kind of living on the edge, right? This is a matchup where, as Gardevoir, you should have turns where you don't have to do anything because you are just a 1 price deck. But if you're leading into the Deoxys, you all of a sudden don't have turns like that, right? You're forced to go bang, 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 bang. And this is working because Azul is not, playing Iono, right? It doesn't have those. Um, but if Azul was getting to Iono all the time, like actually disrupt Cameron, Candon, god damn it, then I don't think this strategy with the Deoxys would have worked as well. So whether or not that was Caden's intentions from the start, I frankly don't know. Um, but yeah, it's definitely an option. Where's the Man for Jirachi? This is just thinning. That's the only reason why we're doing this. But let's see what Azul has here. We do see. The problem is, can you or no, you don't need to protect yourself from Scream Tail. Scream Tail is 10 short of knocking out the Lumen. So if you're Azul, you need to play Iono this turn. There's an Iono in Azul's hands. I believe that is what he grabbed off of the Forest Seal Stone. Okay. And then what now? Are we actually just about to Iono into Zard Candy? Oh, I guess you attack with... No, never mind. You attack with Charmander. Okay. Yeah, you attack with Charmander. I don't remember how much the specific Charmander does, but it should be plenty. Yeah, so we're going to be a Iono the 2. You just kind of hope that Caden does not see boss. That's kind of the only thing that matters. Azul's going to take the prize and kind of say, cool, if I hit boss and hit knockout Zard or establish Zard, turn and win. That's a tall order for Azul, but I mean, you're kind of living on a prayer at this point. Not playing the game with Pidgey. Oh, but there's Cape. So, draw for turn. Refinement. There's enough energies. We know there's enough energies. Just attach Cape. Azul knows there's enough energy, and the Scream Tail is going to come down and do big damage to the fish. Cool. So, Caden wins game 1. Rough start from Azul. I think Azul wins that game if there's a Pidgey in play, if I'm being honest. Just because I think the Deoxys play was so risky. Like, the Deoxys play worked, right? I'm gonna give credit where it's due. The Deoxys play worked. I think it's incredibly greedy, though. Especially grabbing it on turn 1. I think typically you really don't want to play that fast against Zard. But maybe I'm missing something, right? That's entirely possible. But yeah, we are going to... let's check the prize cards real quick. Deoxys V is in the prize cards, so no funny business anymore. I don't want to see any more Deoxys plays. They're done. A 1-1 Pidgeline and a Candy and a Zard is kind of rough for Azul. Like, it's by no means the end of the world, right? Like, you only need the 1-1. You have 2-2. But, it's not like... You're not super happy as Azul to see that, right? But Azul's going to go first. Which I guess, yeah, as Zard, you are going first against the Guardy. Everything goes first against the Guardy, besides like maybe Roaring Moon. So yeah, we're gonna see Rotom and a Pidgey. So immediately already much better for Azul. You don't need Double Mander because you're not threatened by anything in this deck. So we're gonna see Azul shuffle up. Don't think there's an out to Mander, but that is fine as is. Yeah, so we're just gonna see the instant charge. So it seems good to me. Yeah, nothing Azul really needs to do here. It is just, yeah, solid, basic, good stuff. So, Caden is going to play a Thought Crystal, a Far Cry from Double VIP like last game. Because a quick price check, we already know what's in there, so we're just going to skip over that. Yeah, grabs the meal, and we're going to see a Mysterious Tail. Oh, Iono first. Okay, Iono first, probably correct. Ionoing the instant charge is pretty nice, all things considered. Azul still gets a fresh 6, which is, pretty good, but it's, it's not fresh, I don't know, 10 or 8 or however much he had in hand. But Mysterious Tail, there's a VIP. So Caden is playing Pokemon this game, which isn't as bad for Azul as the opposite, but it's, it's still preferable that your opponent doesn't actually get to play the game. So yeah, let's see what we've got here. I think it's gonna be signing up for Ninja. Yeah, Greninja Ralts here off the baby. I guess trying to like see more cards is the idea. Oh, and you have a Ralts in hand. Okay, yeah, so this is totally fine. So no energy in hand for Caden. You just bench. Why are we not benching the Ralts in hand? Hello. Is that a Ralts or I'm just tripping? No, that is a Ralts in Caden's hand. Why are we not benching that? Why are we not benching this Ralts? Surely that was just like a blunder on Caden's end. I feel like Caden has to like know that's incorrect. Right? Like there's no way. Unless we're trying to Mirage Step, but if we're trying to Mirage Step, we're not getting Greninja here. Right? Well, I guess something gets knocked out. I mean, maybe, yeah, I guess if you're Mirage Stepping, you don't bench it, but it feels really sketchy to me. Azul seems to be shaking his head, though. Not a lot going on here. Level Ball for anything but Charmander is bad, but it's going to be the Charmeleon, which is a red flag and a half. There is Fish for Arvin, but now we have both Rotom and Fish in play. Candy Zard. We don't have Candy Pidgey. Okay. Level Ball. So I guess that's why we're level balling for the I guess that's why we're level balling for the Charmeleon, just because we already have the Artisan, but seems like a waste of a resource, in my opinion. Having the Charmeleon in hand now, it's kind of not doing anything. It doesn't really achieve that much, right? I mean, maybe you're trying to thin it, but I think as a Azul, you're never, ever expecting to get knocked out next turn. Hence the Charmeleon in hand, but at the same time, I think you're definitely expecting to get Ionode. I think you have to expect to get Ionode. So, yeah, not sure. But we're going to see Deoxys, V-Star, and Klawf Stadium getting Ultra Ball here, so this better be Mirage Step, or else I'm going to be very mad there isn't a third Ralts on the bench. But he's eyeing up all of the Curlias, yep, and there's Mirage Step. Okay, cool. So this is fine. Reversal for the Mirage Step. Those work because Caden is behind. Definitely alternative. Definitely not, what Caden wants to be, but it could be a lot worse here. At least you are getting to do it, right? I believe there's a Candy in hand as well. So Candy, Ralts, and Rod is actually pretty good. That's actually, like, all things considered, it's pretty good. You're also really loving the board state here. Because I was about to say because there's two prizers on Azul's bench, but now there is one, which is obviously not as good for Caden, but still we are doing something. So Ralt's active. We're just gonna start seeing some refinements. Okay, so Candy, Ralts, Rod. What else? What else in there? We're looking at two energy in this card. These gold cards are so hard to like tell the difference between, but we're gonna get rid of a Candy because there must be two candies in the hand then. What now? We have to. Screamtail's gonna be the answer. I don't hate that. That's great. So Caden has managed to draw into all of his candies, but none of his stage 2s, which is suffice to say really bad. It's not exactly optimal. Might be forced to play this Iono, which I guess you're playing regardless, but playing it with all those candies in hand is really, really rough. Now you have two candies at the bottom of your deck. This active Ralt is not going to get to evolve this turn, which is pretty rough. So, yeah, it's just going to be the Iono. Sucks for Caden, but at least you still have 3 Curlias, so it's not like you can't evolve, assuming you actually hit stuff. But I don't actually see any stage 2s in no, there's a Gardevoir EX, but putting the Gardevoir EX here is really not that good. Yeah, I guess unless you're using Screamtail, we're not doing Screamtail though. Instead, we're grabbing Ralts. We're grabbing Ralts instead, which is pretty good. Yeah, just energy to bench pass. Kind of has to be. You can't bench the Ralts. Oh, you can't bench Screamtail either. Okay, yeah. So you can't even go for the Screamtail play. Yeah, so this is really, really rough game. Because now Azul is just always going to naturally win this prize trade. Picking off a Curlia is quite nice. Going to force more candies out of out of Caden. Um, Rotting back Fish is smart. Gives you access to that late game. Of course, you're expecting Ionos to be thrown around. So I like that a lot. I'm kind of expecting to agree with everything Azul does, but you never know. I mean, even the best players blunder, right? But yeah, the boss seems good. Rod seems good. Not a lot Azul has to do. Again, no Pidgey on the board. No Pidgeot, I should say. Is really, really bad, but not much Azul can do about it right now. Double level ball being played here. It's gonna be a Manaphy and I guess something else to what's it called? Finn, but nothing in the deck, so it's just gonna be a yeah, it's gonna be a whiff on the second one. But let's see here. Yeah, Refinement. I don't know. Rod's good here. There's a lot of good cards there. Gardevoir pieces, Curlia pieces, I should say. Since there's no Gardevoirs in the discard pile, but it's definitely not ideal for Caden. Damage on EX doesn't matter in this matchup because you get one shot regardless. So, yeah, you're fine. Just retreat it and play this Iono. Iono is all the 3. If you can knock out this the Zard, you're potentially in a really, really good spot. But we do need to see a Shining Arcana Guardian for that to work. I still don't know. There's one in the hand. Okay, there is one in the hand. Okay, so Caden should be able to knock this out if there are enough energy in the discard pile. That's the real question here. We're going to see the Shining Arcana happening now. No energy. There's an Ultra Ball though, so if there's energy in hand, then we're fine. But see, Ultra double edge. Yeah, so Caden is about to hit this one shot, which is his way back into this game for sure. For sure. But gonna grab Shining Arcana, makes sense. Triple Ralt on Caden's bench is kind of sketchy though. You definitely want to see some Curlias start, put some stuff into play that isn't gonna force a what's it called? Force a candy, but if that's not an option, then it's not an option. But 6 energy plus the reversal is gonna be enough. There's an argument made for Candy Guardy here. Candy Baby Guardy, not Guardy EX. Yeah, this is exactly what Caden's gonna do. I like this a lot. I like this quite a lot because if the Gardevoir EX gets bossed here, then you still have the Gardevoir with the reversal in the psychics. So, yeah. What are we debating here? Oh, I think it's just Shining Arcana. Okay, yeah. Alright, Azul, 4-card hand now. Can't imagine there's a lot of options for Azul. There is a fish, but is that enough? Needs to establish Zard, for sure. We need to establish Zard, then Zard needs to survive a turn. Actually, no, we don't need to establish Zard, because again, you one-shot the Baby Guard. You one-shot the Baby Guard with Heat Tackle. Ooh, and we see the de-evolution TM. So this is the first time that that Caden is finding out that there isn't de-evolution TM in Azul's deck, and it's actually going to be really, really, really strong here. So obviously the Gardevoir EX kind of doesn't matter, it being de-evolved, right? But Azul just managed to completely waste a rare candy. Yeah, and Caden scoops immediately. Okay, so I personally think the candy play on the bench was correct from Caden's perspective, because of course he doesn't know that Azul is playing the DOTM, right? I think if I was in Caden's situation, I would have made that exact same play. Of course, hindsight is 2020, right? Or 4K. I spilled water. We're gonna ignore that for now. God damn it. Okay. Yeah, I totally just spilled water all over my floor. Spilling? Jesus Christ. And I'm tripping over wires. I'm gonna let the stream go on for a second. Okay. Floor's fine. Floor's fine. Did I unplug that? I did not unplug anything. Okay. We're doing great. I'm doing so well. Spilled water, tripped over stuff. Anyway, game 3. Oh my god. Yeah, but point is, in Caden's position, I would have made the same play. Of course, we know now it was a misplay, but Caden, of course, did not have the information that Azul played TM Devo. Most people would not assume there was a TM Devo. But let's see here. Double rolls prized for Caden. That's bad. How do I summon Emma? Emma's not home, unfortunately. Actually, that's fortunate. Who am I kidding? Yeah, Emma's not home, so you can't summon Emma, unfortunately. TM Devo and prizes for Azul could be rough, but I'm much more concerned about this double rolls. And there's a Curlia too. And we get double VIP. So the game we have double VIP, we of course don't have our Curlias, right? It'd be like that. It'd be like that sometimes. Do I have a towel in here? Just remember to clean up the water on my floor. TM Devo is very rarely played in Zard in the first place. It's always a one-off if it's played, but it is a rare tech. It's not common. It's going to be a lot more common after this tournament because people love to copy what Azul does, rightfully so. He's pretty good at the game, but yeah. Do you think Giratina growth is just Sablezard propaganda? I frankly cannot understand why people aren't playing Sablezard right now. If I was in Portland, I'd be 9-0. No, I don't know. I have no idea. You can't control your matchups, of course, but I think Tina's well positioned. Of course, Zard is the most popular deck, and if your favorite one's the most popular deck, you're probably having a good time. But I am, of course, very happy that Tina is seeing more play because it's good for me if I keep playing Sablezard, which if the meta keeps staying the way it is, then I have no reason to not play Sablezard to Liverpool. Because I think the deck is amazing right now, and I can't fathom why people don't realize that. But to each their own, right? Anyway, back to the game at hand. Yeah, Caden is we saw him eyeing up the Deoxys earlier, if I'm not mistaken. Kind of just because there's really nothing else for Caden to do here. Really interesting play though. Like benching the Jirachi. Kind of just saying like I don't want to Mirage Step, which seems really sketchy, right? I mean, surely you always want to Mirage Step if you have double vault prized. Like that seems pretty reasonable to me. Every deck needs to have a win condition to beat against Zard. Yeah. He did not. Did he start Jirachi or am I just tripping? I think I got a sworn he started Vaults. Oh, he started Jirachi. Never mind. Okay, yeah, I'm out of it. Okay, well, back to Azul. It's going to be Fish for Arvin VAP. I'm assuming there was a Force Seal Stone grabbed as well. Eyeing up Double Mander. Not Pidgey. It's also worth noting there's now 8 minutes left, and neither player benefits from a tie, so I'm assuming there's a gentleman's agreement. We'll see if that comes up. If I'm recalling correctly, I'm pretty sure the gentleman's agreement does come up in this series. But it's going to be definitely one Charmander grabbed here, and it's going to be a Pidgey as well, so... Yeah, nothing too bad here. But what is the Ultra Ball being played on the Zul's end here? The Force Seal still in hand. We grab the Manaphy. Okay, so this is interesting. Yeah, so you grab the Manaphy and you protect your Lumen from the Deoxys ping. And you also protect your Rotom. That part helps too. Yeah, and we just Rotom as well here. So we have I don't think it was great, but there's still Force Seal Stone in hand, so you're not like... Yeah, there's a gentleman's agreement. Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, I'd be very surprised if there isn't. I'm assuming both players are pretty competent to have made it to this point, and there's no reason for not to be a gentleman's agreement between them. But yeah, we're going to see Ultra Wolf Curlia. I'm not really sure, like, we talked about this a little bit earlier, then I spilled water, so I kind of got distracted, but I don't like this board state at all from Candon. We should be playing for Mirage Step. Even if you prize Curlia, you have to play for Mirage Step, because without Ralts, you're not playing Pokemon, right? Even, like, especially you're going first, right? Like, you can afford to do this. There should not be a Deoxys in a draw channel bench at all. Like, I understand that Caden probably wants to go for, like, this early Deoxys route that worked so well for him in game 1. I can understand why, he's going for that, but now Caden's in a situation where he has to, like, he doesn't have to attack with this Deoxys, but It's the play he's kind of locked himself into. He's either attacking with the Ox or he's passing, right? And passing here feels really, really bad because passing is worse than Mirage Step. So like at the bare minimum, right, this Jirachi shouldn't be on the bench. I understand that the Jirachi is like too what's it called, too thin, right? But you just shouldn't, it shouldn't be there, right? You should have access to the Mirage Step play, even if it's just for an extra Curlia, right? Like a bonus Curlia, right? But it's something, it's anything, right? Now you're kind of locked into either attacking or passing, and the attack, it feels so bad here because you're attacking into a one prizer, you're not even pressuring the bench, and then you just get responded by a Zard immediately. So as Kane, you can't really attack here. If you do, you're just instant losing the prize trade. But we're gonna see the Iono here, which is unfortunate for Azul because there was a Force Seal Stone in his hand. He could have attached it, but kind of just making the judgment call that, like, hey, I have I have so many Armins in deck that if I get Iono, I'll just Armin again for it because there's no other tool he wants. Whereas like if Caden had like Lost Vacuum, it'd been a lot worse. But we're gonna see the double Curlia. But yeah, this board is so scuffed. Yeah, there is a vacuum, so still a correct call on Azul's end to hold the Force Seal Stone. Always hold your Force Seal Stones in this position. Take notes, class. So we have a level ball grab here. He's going to grab something. It's going to be Manaphy, I'm assuming, just to refinement away. If I were to guess. Again, 5 minutes left of the clock, and both players are 6-6, so it's not looking too great. Of course, we already know that there's going to be a Dalton's agreement, but still. Yeah, so refinement into, I believe that's Artisan Candy. Energy to Deoxys, and we were passing. Okay, so ball's in Azul's court. If Azul can pull off a play here, then Azul is in a really, really, really good spot. I believe I saw Sardiax in his hand. There's a Pidgey. Yep, Candy Pidgey. And then Pidgey for Candy Zard, right? And then I believe it's a custom catcher in Azul's hand. Okay, we're playing this Zard, but he's thinking about where he wants to evolve, which is actually quite interesting. Because I mean, Charmanders have a lot of value in this matchup. This is the one matchup where what Charmander you have and don't have is actually really important. Because Charmander is a very viable attacker into Gardevoir. So he's going to commit to evolving the bench. Which is definitely interesting. Oh, and going 2 energy. Okay, interesting. Oh, this is very interesting. Does he have energy in hand? Okay. Okay, I'm intrigued by this. What does I'm gonna pause here real quick. Charmander. No, I don't want that. Damn it. Let's work with me. Thank you. Okay. What is 30 for 2 energy? Discard Stadium in play? Is that? I guess we're trying to attack with Charmeleon here then, right? If we're Azul? Because you have the yeah, so it's Charmeleon. Okay, yeah. Because Charmeleon is 90. So this is definitely the best line for Azul. 100% the best line for Azul. Because now you get to start the prize trade, right? Which is important because you're against Gardevoir, right? And you're now not in range of the Deoxys anymore, right? Obviously, if Caden has boss, right? But you have to play to your outs here, and Azul is definitely doing exactly that, right? Caden is having a feast regardless if he has boss. So that's the most important part here. So yeah. Sorry, I'm really hungry. Could you not talk about cheeseburgers right now? Could you not? Alright, let's move the curly off the level ball. Meal McDonald's collab. That'd be crazy. Bro, could I collab with McDonald's? That'd be crazy. Would they do that? The Cramorant cheeseburger? What'd be in it? I don't know. I want to see a refinement here. Candy is useless, or is the Guardy? Not seeing a boss. See reversal. Don't know if we have any. Yeah. How wrong you were about my match. Sawyer, I have some bad news for you. I was very right about your match, unfortunately. Okay. There's the catcher. No EX and no V-Star. So this could be rough for either side here. I don't know how many energies are left in or how many energies are in Caden's discard here, but we're gonna see 0 off the Arcana. I believe reversal was last turn, so we cannot. No, reversal was this turn, so we cannot attach it. Cape, and there is there's an EX, but again, we're not seeing. Is that an Ultra Ball? I think that's an Ultra Ball. Yeah, there is an Ultra Ball. Okay, so Deoxys V-Star is going to hit the board. This should. Well, are we at 6? Oh, we're past 6. Okay, so no reason to attack with Deoxys. I guess you might as well like put it onto the board just so you have something. Okay, time has been called, so Caden is turn 0. This is important. This is very, very, very important that Caden is turn 0. Six to Guardy. Knockout Sard. So Caden can go down to 2. So I'm assuming they're gentlemen's based on prices. It seems pretty reasonable. Alright, we're going to draw for turn as Azul. Think about it. And play the Pidgey. Okay, so what are we trying to do as Azul here? Like, what's the goal? I'm assuming hitting with Charmeleon's pretty good. You have to put a Charmander into play, of course, but hitting with Charmeleon's good. The problem is if you're playing for Gentlemen's and they already agreed to play off of prize cards, which we don't know this yet, right? But let's make the assumption of playing off of prize cards. This means that Boss has a lot of value because Azul needs to. Azul can win if Azul goes knockout Guardy, knockout Deoxys. Then Azul wins on the prize trade, right? However, if Azul goes knockout active, knockout to prize next turn, they're tied. And then if you're going off of prize rules for Gentleman's Agreement, right? Obviously these are unwritten rules, of course, but typically it would be going into Cameron's turn, or Caden's turn, and Caden would then win from there, right? With Azul being at 2, or with him being at 2, and Azul and with the Charizard, right? But even if we're looking at Azul playing this game normally, I think Azul really does need to be going to 1. Or, well, no, he needs to be targeting this Guard EX. It's a bit risky because this Baby Guardy is now going to be in a position where it can knock out the Zard, but I guess the play for Azul, yes, we already see the energy on the Charmander. The play for Azul here is going to be knockout EX. Next turn, when Caden goes to 2 cards, you take off his draw. There's no more draw in the sport besides Greninja. So you take out the draw, being the Shining Arcana Guardian, and like with TMD Evolution or with the Charmander can do it, right? With Caden at 2, Caden will need to hit a boss, and knock out with Deoxys would be the line here for Caden. So it's going to be very interesting here. I know how this game ends, by the way. Azul is going to win, but we're going to turn 2 of time. This is Caden's perspective here. So the Force Seal Stone has hit for Azul, has not used it, and is going to get punished, technically. It's probably still correct to touch that Force Seal Stone. But I'm not entirely sure, if I'm being honest. Kind of Iono approach yourself since you're being Iono 3. At least you have the Pidgey now, so it matters less. But Shadow Arcana is going to find an energy for this Deoxys, which is pretty nice. So you can get the Deoxys fully powered up this turn instead of having to worry about finding Psychic next turn. And yeah, looking pretty rough. I think there's debate on like whether or not we're bossing or caping or what we're doing here. Actually, caping Guardy seems really, really good. You know, caping Guardy seems great here because then the Charmander isn't. Cape Guardy is awesome. Is a great play here. Yeah, so you Cape Guardy, and then this Charmander now has to evolve, or Azul has to find Vacuum. That's of course an out, right? But you're forcing Azul to find more. But if this if you are able to force this Charmander to evolve, now all of a sudden Caden wins the next turn with Deoxys, right? So yeah, it's gonna be the knockout here onto Zard. Pidgey active, and it's turn 3 of time now. So after this turn on Azul's end, both players have to agree on the outcome of the game. Yeah. And be going into Caden's turn. So the question is, I'm assuming based on the gentleman's agreement, my guess would be whether or not Caden has boss, right? Is how this will play out. If Caden has boss, Caden wins. If Caden doesn't have boss, Azul wins, right? Because regardless of whether Azul has it now, he has Pidgeot, which means he's probably always hitting it. So, yeah, it's rough. And Azul on his end, obviously, like they can't discuss it thoroughly and play out lines and see what hits what because you're not allowed to finish the game. Because obviously time is called. So I'm assuming they're discussing stuff now. I think what Azul wants to do here is make it clear for what he plays this turn, being the last turn of the game, that assuming Caden doesn't have boss, then Azul will win the game, right? Is kind of what we're coming to here. So we're going to shuffle in 2 Fire and the Zard. Okay, yeah. So it seems good to me. I'm assuming this is quick search. If we're just picking up our deck. For the Zard. Okay. Candy already in hand is pretty hype. We're going to get the energies. Okay, but we are attacking with the Zard, though. Doesn't Deoxys knock out Zard? Deoxys is at 3 energy. 60 for each. So we're hitting 360 though, aren't we? Or no, it's between both active Pokemon, right? Hold up. Let me double check that. We just had it up. Here we go. That's both both active. So this Deoxys is currently hitting for 300 damage. 30 short. And then we're gonna Iono to 2. Okay, so Cannon needs either boss or energy. That is double rare candy. Okay, sick invite. And nothing. So that was turn 3 of time. Cannon is not allowed to look at his top deck. That's not an option. Or unless they had a time extension I don't know about. Oh, they forgot about the... Okay, so yeah, the judge probably just said something. But Cannon is just going to show triple rare candy and give the victory to Azul because he did not have game. And obviously Azul just has game on board because everything gets knocked up by the Charizard. Yeah. Oh, Mo, thank you for the follow. Well, great timing because we're actually about to wrap it up. That was round 9. Yeah, so Azul won that one. Here are the top 16 standings going into day 2, in case anyone is curious, hasn't seen yet. John Ang at 9-0, playing Tina, is notable here. Makani Tran, of course, a teammate of mine, playing Regigigas. At 8-1, Terrence, we saw on stream, 8-1. Vance Kelly, world champion, 8-1. Grant Manley, Michael Davidson, Chicago local, a friend of mine. Yeah, good list of players here at the top tables going into tomorrow. But that's gonna be all for today's stream, guys. Little like shorter stream, well, it's like 3.5 hours, but going over the Portland VOD for day one tomorrow, Monday, 1 p.m. European Central. We are going to be going over day two, which is of course happening tonight if you're in Europe. Yeah, tonight, like middle of the night if you're in Europe like me. But of course, Nene, it'll be at a relatively more normal time for you guys. But VOD review tomorrow, so tomorrow morning for NA, tomorrow afternoon for my fellow Europeans here. But that'll be it for today. And we'll see who wins tomorrow. It's gonna be interesting. I think it's an interesting field. I think we've got some kitchen members who are pretty well positioned. Shout out to Makani. But, it might be Tina's event to win. Finally, Tina could win something, but we'll just have to find out today, tomorrow, depending on where you are. So, that being said, thank you guys for tuning in today, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.